What's going on, guys? Oh, you can't see me. That's all right. You can sort of see me now. So, hope everybody's doing great. I tried to start this thing before you guys because changing a tire is not difficult, but it can take some time. You know what I mean? Because it requires some care. But one in the chat, if you guys can hear me. What's up, EUC Lifer? Nothing crazy, man. Nothing crazy. Just I was about to change this thing, and I was like, you know what? Let me see if I could set up a quick live, and just set up the camera the way I have it right now. Can you hear me though? Can anybody hear me? I know there's like 7 people in there. One in the chat if you can hear me. One in the chat if you can hear me. All right, so let me see if I can hear me because I don't think you guys can. Maybe. Oh, you can. Okay, cool. There you go. You can hear me. All right, so Okay, cool. Nathan Brock, what's going on, guys? Yeah. So I didn't set up a live this Saturday or Sunday because I had no time. I couldn't do it. But so I made a video the next day. But my MSP high speed needs a tire. It's completely bare. So I don't want to, have it pop on me randomly. You know what I mean? Spartacus, yo, looks like tire change time for sure. I know. How many miles? I have a new board, so I really don't know. You know what I can do? I can probably check my old logs on EUC World to see what it was before I changed the motor, before I changed the board, but I have no clue. Yeah, I really don't know. But if I check my torque MSP, maybe I could take a guess. But I don't think it's that much. I honestly don't think it's that much because I transition between wheels. I go from torque, off-roading to high speed, but definitely the high speed definitely has a lot more. It has a lot more than the torque. And my EXN is dead, so I got to ride my high speed now. Not that I don't like my high speed. I love it. It's just I didn't want to ride it because the tire is terrible. So this will hopefully be better. Yes, look at that. Yeah. This actually came from the torque. This tire came from the torque MSP. The torque MSP has the knobby from the EXN, so it still had good tread, as you can see. So no money spent. So let me go ahead and change this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a video from the Amped Electric Games. This is probably the best race. Well, my favorite part of Amped Electric Games. Yeah, so I was inspired by that race. That was a beautiful race. I wish I was involved, but I wasn't. But just watching it made me pumped. You know what I mean? So let me just play it, and then when it's done, we'll get back to talking. And I'll put the link in the chat. So if anybody wants to hop in and chat, share your thoughts with the world. There's a lot of wheels coming out. Some of you probably don't have channels. Maybe some of you have channels but aren't really active on it. So you could just chat. But let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, this one. Let's see what this one says. Nathan Brock, I just bought an MSP high torque. Is fairly good condition for $1,000. Nice. Was that a good deal? Yes, indeed. Absolutely. That's a fantastic deal. I mean, depends on what the condition it was. I hope you got to test it and not order it and ship to you. I really hope you got to test it. But the torque is a freaking great wheel, man. Probably better, Ruttman Murray. Probably better than any of the new wheels. That is correct. That is correct, man. Nathan Brock, it was either that or the MSX 84 volt for $1,000. No. I mean, granted, the MSX 84 volt is worth it, but if you're getting an MSP torque, you might as well, dude. You might as well. I prefer the 18650 cells, but I've been using the MSPs for very specific purposes. You know what I mean? The torque for off-roading mostly, and mostly like, I wouldn't say off-roading. When I say off-roading, I don't mean jumping or anything like that. I mean like back roads with trails and tracks, maybe some jumps, maybe some routes, stuff like that. But I like riding fast. You know what I mean? Even if it's off-roading. So that's what I say. When I say off-roading, that's usually what I mean. Growing old and having fun asked, is it the blackboard? Nathan says, I've ridden it quite a bit. It has 5,000 miles on it. Yeah, 5,000 miles is nothing, dude. Nothing. So if you watched George's Go video the other day with the fire, which was crazy, I believe Archie had 25,000 miles on his monster. So these wheels can go for quite a bit. If you take care of them, they can go quite the distance. So let me get started because I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay up. But let me play this thing real quick. Let's do it.
What you need out of the S22, whereas The Master kind of gives it to you willingly.
I think that the
Part of
suspension geometry may have
electric
made a
games,
difference as well out there
yeah.
on the off-road course
Yes.
because the Master seemed to be
What
bottoming
you need out
out
of
on
the
quite a few of
S22.
those drops and jumps. And
After
they're off, folks.
And there they go. They're taking off and quick into that first corner. They got a pretty even length. It looks like the Electric Dreams in the front there. Yeah, followed by
Electric
Roger
Dreams.
and Roger
This is a great
Hajali,
race, man.
and then Taylor Filkins is behind there. Oh, I think we got a fight right here. Here they
Wow,
go.
is
The
that
Masters are
two
fighting it out
Masters
for that
followed
by
corner.
the S22.
Yeah, and Roger Hajali is right on the inside, and it doesn't look like
glitchy.
Electric Dreams wants to give it up, but he has no choice because Roger Hajali just took the lead. They're going back into that next corner, and here we go.
That was pretty
That was
exciting.
a great race,
We
man.
got a master fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Two
a
masters.
master fight.
Two Masters at work.
Wow.
I don't see any swords out, but I do see those masters dueling, and they are not giving up. It seems like they are staying on it.
It's almost as if Electric Dreams was doing a little bit of drafting there, or Roger Jolly was doing a little bit of drafting, just waited for his opportunity.
Whoa.
Here we go. Electric Dreams is pulled ahead, moving into the first corner. Oh, we saw a little stumble there.
Uh-oh.
Off in
no.
the grass.
Electric
He's down.
Dreams is down.
He's down.
Electric
That's
Dreams
Electric
is
Dreams.
down.
He's all right. He's all right.
He's out.
I wonder what
He's
happened.
out of
Yeah,
the
he's
race.
not grabbing his
Wow.
wheel. He's out.
Well, that was quite unfortunate. An unfortunate misstep
Oh,
there. He
That's
had
the S20.
a lot of potential, and I think that we could have seen an amazing race. And Roger's
Roger
coming in.
Hajali.
Roger's finishing off with the men's final
So the Master came out in
winner
first place.
Yep.
of
That was
open
cool.
over 100 volt category.
And behind him is going to be Taylor Filkins.
And we've got Taylor Filkins coming in second place. Second place for Taylor Filkins.
And Electric Dreams, I believe he should be coming up. I'm not sure if he got back on his wheel. I know that he was.
He may not be finishing.
Yeah. I think Electric Dream said his
Roger's still
tire
riding.
was filled was tied up.
You won already.
With cables and stuff. I don't know.
Oh boy, that was a great race right
That
up
was
until
really
that.
exciting until the first corner there is really, I saw him breaking into that quite
It
a
was
bit.
actually the second corner as you go past the finish here. That second corner in the far back. Excuse me, I saw a lot of people overshooting that corner.
Yeah.
And going into the grass. That line is what you need, but you can't let it go into the grass. And a lot of people have been riding the edge. And I think he just overshot it just a little bit because he was pushing it. Here we go. We got the next ones up.
All right, we've got Michael Martin, Zach Darnell, and Kyle Clausing.
And they're off. Same thing. They got a pretty good interval going into the first turn. Oh, here we go.
We got Kyle Clausing in third.
That
Gotta
second
move.
turn.
We gotta move.
There it is. Look,
I make Kyle.
So, if you're, I mean, you guys probably know this, but when you're working on your wheel and you're changing your tire, obviously unplug all the power cables. I usually do both sides, but I'm just gonna do one side for now today, and just make sure you don't have any metal pieces next to your board, and then when you unplug it, you push the button, you're gonna hear that, and now it's discharged. So yeah, this is the high-speed MSP and the MSP and the 84-volt MSX and the Tesla. It's the worst to change a tire. Worst, because you have to put goo back in. Oh my gosh, it's so bad, dude. But it is what it is. Take my time, get it done.
I just talked about that second curve.
Michael Martin's off the track.
That second curve is deadly.
I would not count him out. I would not count him out.
He's definitely
he
gonna
stayed
push
on his
it.
wheel, and
he's gonna push it.
Oh, we got
another
Kyle
one.
Clausing is off. Kyle Clausing is off.
Okay, what do we got?
Zach Darnell.
And we already got the change. We already he took
Zach Darnell.
He took his second place back.
Move there.
He took his second place back.
That was quite exciting. We lost our drone. We're going to do a little bit of a battery change here, so we'll switch to our alternate cameras.
Yeah, he's gonna battery. You want to go where?
Can you? You can't.
No, we just left it. Yeah.
All right. So let's see what happens here as they come around the next corner. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Here he's closing that gap. He's closing that gap. He's trying to see what he. Oh, oh boy, yeah.
He lost quite a bit on that look.
Yeah, he looked back and slowed down.
Zach Darnell looked back and he slowed down.
He felt like he didn't have anything to worry
Michael Martin's
about.
the opportunity to move in on the inside. That was phenomenal. Really exciting race here.
He did not think he had anything to worry about, but he was checking, and then that gave the opening. Oh,
anybody in the chat went to the games?
Wow, all right.
He's still in front.
Zach Darnell with about 20 wheel lengths in front of.
There's the swim move.
And the swim move, and that's over.
All right, and that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so we'll see in the finals. Are we facing off on 4 on the finals position? Finals round 2.
All right, so I got the main cables off.
Okay. 2 from each, so we'll see.
Oh, I have to go on the other side anyway.
Taylor Filkins facing off against Zach Darnell and Michael Martins.
I gotta bring my son with me.
All right, so let's move into the open 100 volt and under.
This was a great race, guys.
First
This was awesome.
See Ethan McPherson, Jeffrey Peralta, and NY Tarzan. Where do you think NY Tarzan's from?
Well, let me put it to you this way. He's all over the place, so I am not sure because NY Tarzan, I see him some of everywhere. So
he did the entire Thunderdome course earlier today
backwards. Yes, he did. Unbelievable. And if you're not sure what the Thunderdome is, go online and look it up. Kohler Mountain Thunderdome, and you tell me if you could do that backwards.
Yeah, we actually have some videos in our video library. If you look up, I believe it's rider footage. We have some footage from the Thunderdome, some first-person view footage that I took earlier this year.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable that he did that backwards. All right, so we got. Oh, wait a minute.
Four racers.
Who else do we have? Oh, right here, Austin Lee. Austin Lee was a write-in because. Okay. Because of the accident that we had earlier, E-Rider A went down.
Went over a berm.
Hard.
Yeah.
And he went to the hospital just to get checked out. Yep. So he's not racing today.
He's fine. Thank goodness.
Fine. Yes,
he's going to be all right.
Our positive thoughts and prayers go out to him anyway.
All right, folks. Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right, who do you have as a favorite on this one?
I don't know. Jeffrey Peralta seems to be a favorite.
He has definitely been
I think it might be between him and Tarzan for this first one. I'm not sure. We shall see.
We've got an EXN, a Monster Pro. Another, looks like we have three EXNs and a Monster Pro in this race.
And we've learned from previously that Monster Pro needs to take it easy on the takeoff.
Yeah, the Monster Pro is geared very high, so you're able to reach higher top speeds, definitely. But
you can't try and force it there quickly.
Yep.
You have to gently get it up there. I'm very good at that because I am not a full lean, Michael Jackson lean kind of person. So I never try to overlean any of my wheels, and the Monster Pro works well for me because I come to a top speed gradually, and that's what you kind of have to do. It makes it a little difficult to race with that wheel simply because it does take a little bit to get up there, but that's what we got. And as a matter of fact, hang on a second. I think we have that looks like
no, we got Jeff Peralta, Tarzan on the right, Austin Lee.
Is that not Sammy? That's Sammy, right? Okay.
Oh, Sam's in.
Sam's in there. Okay.
All right. So Sam is okay. He was checked out, I guess, and he is all right to race.
So he is going to go in instead of Austin Lee, I believe.
Okay. I've seen that Purple Monster Pro in quite a few races. Seems to be quite a fast wheel.
Well, let's see what we got. Oh, he's what's he doing with his wheel? He's doing a burnout. He's doing a burnout with his wheel. He's just warming it up. It's a warm up, people. It's a warm up.
Let's not blow any controllers here at the starting line, guys. Hey, Brian Freebie. Mike Leahy, Shibby time.
Shibby, shibby.
All of the celebrities are in the house. Shibby, shibby.
Here we go. Here we go. Well, false start. False start. Another false start. Another false start.
Chomping at the bit. A couple false starts. Here we go, folks.
Now they're off, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Yeah, and I see Sammy's taking a little off. He's not pushing that hard on the start, which is smart. Now he can close the gap as he slowly pushes that Monster Pro from the rear, give it the
Jeffrey
speed that he needs.
Peralta is got that Michael Jackson lean going.
Yeah.
He takes the inside of that corner.
Oh, here we go. The straightaways is where Jeffrey Peralta is definitely leaning on it. And actually, they're all leaning on it on that straightaway.
Wow.
Here we go. That corner.
Sam Pacheco is just waiting for his chance.
The corner is where it's going to make all the difference. Because look at that. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. All right, we got to change. That looks like we have Peralta. Oh, Tarzan's somebody's down there. I couldn't tell who it was. Hold on, let's look at the playback.
Ethan McPherson, I believe, is in first place.
Yeah, it looks like Tarzan went down. So Ethan and then Jeffrey, followed by Sam. Tarzan went down, so he's gonna have to close some distance if he can get back up on the track. And Jeffrey Peralta is right now making a move.
Jeffrey Peralta
He's
is
making
just
a move.
waiting
He's
for
making a move.
Wow.
He's staying right tight. Oh, here's that corner. That corner
has claimed quite a few riders.
That's the first. This next one is where it's really hard. This is where they're having trouble negotiating. Let's see what happens right here. Right here. And does he stay in? He does.
Oh, wow.
He stays in on that back corner.
Right
Very
through
good.
that slick shirt there on the track.
All right, here it is.
We got
here
an
it is.
inside move.
Here it is.
Oh,
he makes
inside
the
move.
It's
Inside
Jeffrey
move.
Peralta with the inside move. Here we go. What is going to happen here?
That was awesome.
Oh, we have it. Jeffrey
That's
Peralta
crazy.
has taken the inside track and he
amazing.
Turned that
was
into
awesome.
victory.
That was awesome.
Peralta,
Wow.
I can tell you right now.
I know how this guy is feeling right now. He's so pumped right
the
now.
whole time.
He's
He
so
was
pumped
riding
right
in
now.
third place. He did not let that defeat him.
He waited for
his opportunity
to make that
That's
move.
awesome.
And he made the move at the right
And that wasn't
time.
an easy move
That
either.
was
He had to
amazing.
cut in.
Exciting.
That took
was
some
a lot of
skills.
I'll tell you right now, that was racing 101, people.
Yeah, man.
I can
Yep.
tell you,
Yep.
that was
That was
racing
awesome.
He
101.
wasted, and you know what? It was just that little fumble, and he took that opportunity
Yeah.
to move right in and
He said he
capitalize
watched
on
that
that
again.
mistake.
So for those of us that have done racing before, you know that when you're in the lead,
Let's watch that
Starts.
again. That
Here
was
we
a
go,
great.
folks.
That was a great race.
now
That
they're
was an
off, ladies
awesome
and gentlemen.
race,
Here
dude.
we go.
He literally waited
Yeah,
in
and
the
I
back.
see Sammy's taking a little off. He's not pushing that hard on the start, which is smart.
Oh, that's the
Now
guy
he
I
can
raced in
close
New
the
York.
gap as he
Although
slowly
it wasn't really a race, it
pushes
was
that
more
Monster
traffic
Pro from the
skills
rear,
than
give it
anything.
to
Jeffrey
speed that he needs.
The
Peralta,
monster guy.
he's got that Michael Jackson lean going.
Yeah.
He takes the inside of that corner.
Oh, here we go. The straightaways is where Jeffrey Peralta is definitely leaning on it. And actually, they're all leaning on it on that straightaway.
Wow.
Here we go.
And
The corner.
Sam
I think the-
Pacheco
I
is
think the
just waiting
corner-
for his chance.
The corner is where it's going to make all the difference. Because look at that. Look at that. Oh, my goodness.
By the way, that's not me. That's the drone that's
All right, we
glitching
got to
like
change.
that.
We got to change. That looks like we have
Tarzan.
Peralta. Oh, Tarzan's somebody's down there. I couldn't tell who it was. Hold on, let's look at the playback.
Ethan
Man,
McPherson, I believe, is in
Tarzan
first
took a
place.
nasty
Yeah, it looks
fall
like
there.
Tarzan went down. So Ethan and then Jeffrey, followed by Sam. Tarzan went down, so he's gonna have to close some distance if he can get back up on the track. And Jeffrey Peralta is right now making a move.
Jeffrey Peralta
He's
is
making
just
a move.
waiting
He's
for
making a move.
Wow.
He's staying right tight. Oh, here's that corner. Here's that corner.
That corner has claimed
Okay.
quite a few riders.
That's the first. This next one is where it's really hard. This is where they're having trouble negotiating. Let's see what happens right here. Right here, right here, right here, right here. And does he stay in? He does.
Oh, wow.
He stays in on that back corner.
Right
Very
through
good.
that slick dirt there on the track.
All right, here it is.
We got
Here
an
it is.
inside move.
Here it is.
Oh,
He makes
inside
the
move.
move. It's
Inside
Jeffrey
move.
Peralta with the
Jeffrey
inside
Peralta.
move. Here we
That's
go.
on
What?
the inside.
What is going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen?
Wow.
Oh, we have it.
That
Jeffrey
is
Peralta
awesome.
has taken the inside track
That was
and he
amazing.
turned that
That
into
is
a
awesome.
victory.
Just look at his excitement.
I can tell you
He's so
right
excited
now,
right now.
Jaco.
Jeffrey stayed focused the whole time. He was riding in third place and did not let that defeat him.
Waited for his,
He waited for his opportunity
to make that move.
and he made the move at
Wow.
the right time.
That was
That was
great. That was
amazing.
exciting.
That was amazing.
That was a lot of fun.
I'll tell you right now, that was racing 101, people.
Yeah, man.
I can
Yep.
tell you,
Yep.
that was racing
He
101.
wasted, and you know what? It was just that little fumble, and he took that opportunity
Yeah.
to move right in and capitalize on that mistake.
So for those of us that have done racing before, you know that when you're in the lead, first was Jeffrey Peralta, second was
We're
Ethan
thinking Ethan
McPherson. Yeah. So as I was saying, when you're racing, if you are racing and you're in first place, that is the most stressful place to be.
Yeah.
Second place, the next most stressful place to be. Third place is honestly, third place is a wonderful place
That's
to be
funny.
as long as you keep it close, because right at the end is when you can put it on and make your move.
All right, folks.
All
we
right,
got our
next one
heat.
up.
Kevin Zavala shows. Kevin Zavala,
I don't know, man.
Jose
I think I'd rather
Rodriguez,
be in front, or second place.
And
I think I'd rather be in second place for the first round,
There he is. Oh,
because your leg starts to get tired.
Merlin Fish.
over
I can
torqued
imagine.
on the starting.
Oh
line.
no,
That's what
he's hurt
happens
his
with
leg.
Electric Dreams. His legs probably
Oh,
got
it's
tired.
me.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, help him out there, guys.
He's had some
Because
problems
racing
with
is
that
different than just
Master
riding
Pro.
fast in the
Yeah.
streets, dude.
Yeah.
Master, not Master
I
Pro.
could definitely see my
not-
leg.
Not
turning
yet.
onto
Don't get us
Master
excited.
Master.
Don't get us
by the
excited.
second round.
I'm so used to seeing Merlin on a Monster Pro.
Yeah.
All right,
he's,
folks.
okay, he's all right. He's all right. He's got an injured leg.
Looks
but
like
he's all right.
Kevin Zavala is out in front,
Yes, he's out. He's
and
got
we have
good
a
lead.
race for
second. We got a race for second here. They're tight.
between Jose Rodriguez and Show Scott. Now, Show Scott, I don't think is on his racing wheel because
This is
we
just a
saw
hangout, guys. Nothing crazy.
obliterated
If you
yesterday
want to
in
hang out, if
qualifications.
you want to say stuff.
No, I'm not
Definitely
100%
join the chat.
positive because is that him in the red? Because I really didn't see the numbers. as
Jose
they started.
Rodriguez
Nothing
is in
special.
red,
Okay.
Kevin Zavala is in the green, and Show Scott has the white
Okay,
shirt
let's
on.
see as he comes around because I guess I wasn't. Oh yes, okay. Here we go. Here we
But
go.
I
Here we
really
go.
wish I
Here we
was
go.
at that
No,
race,
here he goes.
man.
this
Oh my
time.
gosh!
And
Just
there's
look at
Show.
Look at that. Look at the
Okay,
setup.
here we go. And they're
Drawing.
full.
Clear second
The track.
place.
Oh my
Oh,
Moving into
oh.
this corner.
That corner. That's one.
Oh.
Now here's
Ooh.
the hard corner. What are they gonna do right here? This is the corner that makes or
Wow,
breaks.
wow,
people.
wow,
Oh,
wow,
wobble,
wow,
wobble,
wow,
wobble.
wow.
Oh my goodness, he was right on the line, ladies and gentlemen. That was he almost lost it.
You know,
And he has the lead. What did I just tell you about the first place?
yeah.
First place position is so much pressure.
Was
A
that
lot.
an EXN?
There he goes
What is
again,
that?
right in the line.
Very close to
A
the
lot
line
of
there.
times people lose it just because of the pressure of being in first place. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. All
is true.
right. Here we go.
Wow.
Show takes second. The fight between
Kevin
second.
Zavala, Show Scott, and Jose Rodriguez. In third, Merlin Fish unfortunately had an equipment failure and he was out of the race. Race wheel provided by iRod. Service provided by
That drone-
iRods.
That drone is
Sam
sick.
Sammy
dude.
Pacheco
Pacheco with the
over
ripped
here.
pants.
The drone view
How you
is
feeling?
sick.
If I had a third one, I'd have missed.
Come
my
and
The
jump
drone
in here
view is
real quick.
insane.
Jump on in here and give us a little. So, how are you feeling?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I got JR. He's here. Jeffrey won the last one. Who else we got on the team? Amber's up here. Well, the
Yeah.
fact that we have so many in the finals,
Yep.
I'm fine.
New York City, New York City represent.
Great
New
job.
York
Track.
City.
But
All
I'm
right.
good.
All
Go
right.
dip your chip.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make sure you're okay, buddy. That was Sam Pacheco right
Sam
there.
Pacheco, owner of iRides out of New York, New York.
He went down and he's got the shredded salad pants, but he's all right. He's all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, those are air conditioned pants now. I believe.
That's funny. Air conditioned pants. I would definitely bring jeans.
All right. So we're gonna move on here. I think we got to come back around, right?
Second, heat here. We got a finals round 2 coming up.
All right. All right, we're gonna pause for
Pausing
medical.
for
Just
medical.
stand by. Give us
Pausing
a
for
minute.
medical. So while we're pausing for medical, let's bring you a word from our sponsors. We'd like to thank EVs for providing the tickets to the
EVs.
Thunderdome for our racers, Insta360, Free Motion Shop, Rev Rides, Old Bones Therapy,
Rev Ride.
Craft and Ride, E-Rides, Float Life,
Fire Sack, you can't forget them. Beyond
Oh,
Riders.
Fire Sack. Oh
Kinetic
my God.
DL, my man
As
is
of
here.
yet, was it 2
You
days
haven't got
ago?
those
Fire
shoes,
Sack
please go get
died.
it there.
Go see Mitch. He's a super nice guy.
2 days-
Wonderful
2 days
guy.
ago, right?
Helmet flare.
He mentioned the Fire Sack, but guys, yeah, oh man, it was a good attempt, right? But I don't know. I'm not sure. I think the Archie fire was pretty extreme, but you never know if your fire is going to be extreme or not. You don't know. You have no idea. Let me see if I could turn this camera up a little bit. Hold on, I don't want to disconnect it. See, the thing about Archie's fire, it was pretty extreme, but I can't honestly say that was an extreme fire to the point where we might never experience that type of fire in our life. We don't know what kind of fire we're going to get. We don't know if it's going to be a small smoke fire, like a little, just smoke for like 5 minutes and then turns into a fire. We don't know if it's going to be a blazing crazy bomb like we saw with Archie. We have no idea. So you can't say, oh, I'm going to get the Fire Sack and hopefully it's just a little fire. If Archie's fire demonstrated that, it's just unpredictable. So, I didn't expect the Fire Sack would hold up. But it begs to the question is like, man, how did he really test it? Like, I saw the video of the Fire Sack, like him testing it, but I don't know. Was that a real, like, how did he trigger the fire is my question. I don't know. But who knows? Maybe the Fire Sack would be good for a smaller wheel, like much smaller. Maybe the MSP, maybe like, I don't know, 9-bot or something like that. Because that was a Monster Pro. And I believe it was modified, heavily modified. So I don't know.
Grizzly pads.
What do you guys think?
Tortoise pads. Predator helmets. Electric Stoke
Company.
Nasty's Float Shop. Lazy Rolling. Clark pads. Of course, E-Ride Life over here. Splice guards, of course. Bigfoot braids.
Splice guard. Wow.
Snipes. FPV Productions. Land and Surf Company.
Where is it?
Armadillos. And Bomb Squad. You guys got to make sure
Oh,
you
there it is.
visit these
Splice
people
guard.
if they're
Wow.
still here and their booths are still open.
Let's not forget Apex Visual Solutions for providing us
Splice
with
guard
a
is,
live stream, and also
guy in New York
NWA Emotion Troy
creates
Hawley
rails for
being
wheels.
a supportive
Like
partner
protective
of the Amped
rails.
Electric Games.
Definitely. We appreciate you guys here. We thank you all for coming. Excuse me, because obviously without all of us, we would not be able to do this.
I'm really excited for the other events that we have coming up. We've got a best trick competition that'll be coming up later. Did you see the size of those ramps over there?
I did. I actually got a chance to ride the middle ramp, and wow. Roger Hajali.
We're paging
I think
Roger.
Roger sold his
Roger,
wheel.
come to the internet.
But I saw the specs on it. It was a 2000. Roger sold his wheel, and I think it was a 2000 watt-hour battery. So I think it was the Molly cell battery from eWheels, if I'm correct. I would never buy that wheel, only because of the watt hours. It's just so low. But maybe I would buy the wheel because it has higher current output. You know what I mean? I think it's like 35 or something like that versus 10. So I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Because the guy who sold it to modded it, like he added like some Clark fairings, and then he ended up selling it for $2,800. So it's like, wait a minute, why would you sell a master for $2,500? And it makes sense now, because the first of all, it's used, heavily used, not abused, but heavily used, and the watt hours was pretty low, 2,000. I mean, I don't care how you justify 2,000 watt hours, it's still very little in terms of range, you know.
Oh wow! Show Scott is getting medical treatment from what I understand. He's
So
cut
someone
out
got
2 or
hurt.
3 times on this trip here.
Yeah, his first one being the really bad one. So I'm not sure what happened here, but I know on the first one he really fell hard.
I think he'll be investing in some better safety gear
I
before the
think so.
next Amped Electric Games. At least I hope
guys.
so, because his
I wouldn't go to an AMP games or some type of game without gear, dude. Like, that's impossible. Like, you need gear.
back looked awful.
It looked like shredded cheese, but but he definitely. I'm gonna be honest with you. He did a great job at pulling himself together,
Getting his wheels
getting
fixed.
himself together, and getting back out here on the course. AI Rides was able to get him another wheel, and he was able to race. So I give him respect for being able to get himself back together and get back out here. And I know Merlin Fish, he limped off. I hope he's all right. I haven't seen an update on him yet, but
Lift off? What do you mean? Helicopter?
I want to give a shout out to my family, E-Ride wife, and my son Ben for coming out and supporting us here at the Amped Electric Games. Let's have a round of applause for E-Ride wife and Ben Johnson.
Yeah. And in case you guys don't know, Seth has done so much work, and he could not have done it without the support of E-Ride wife over there. I give her a lot of credit.
This
for
guys,
doing
this
what
was
she has
monumental.
done to support
This event was actually monumental if you think about it. I'm like literally kind of in shock right now, because I've always wondered, man, when is EUC gonna turn into like UFC, F1 racing, etc., etc.? When is it gonna turn into that? And then the Amped Electric Games comes out of nowhere. Well, it seems like out of nowhere, because I've never heard of what's his name? I don't know. I forgot his name. I've never heard of him. And he just came out of nowhere, it seems. So it's just sad that I couldn't make it, dude, because I'm a racer. And I couldn't make it. But that was unprecedented. This was amazing, dude. Like, looking back at it, it's just like, holy smokes, this actually happened. You know what I mean? This is crazy. It's crazy.
Seth, and to help him along this journey. If you guys don't know what a huge undertaking this has been, if you're not sure, I can tell you right now, I've had many conversations with Seth along the way, and this has definitely not been an easy road,
Okay.
but I can tell you right now, it's been worth it. Seth has put so much work into this. His family has supported him, and it has come through to being like the premier event of
We've
the
got a
year.
race.
All right,
Where's
here we go.
Uriah? Oh, I gotta find my
Oh, wait,
son. I
yeah,
have a
we're
camera
not
on him,
quite
but I don't
there
know
yet.
where he
Did they get started? I thought
went.
they
Let
got
me get
started.
this.
Yeah, let's get.
All right,
Oh, there
we
he
got
is.
them. They're off and running. We missed the start there. Sorry about that. Here we go. We got 2 EVs jerseys coming around here, and they're moving.
All right.
Oh my goodness!
That's Zach
Oh
Darnell.
boy, they're fighting for the lead. And
Look at that
okay,
wobble,
he's got-
guys.
he's
Look
got
at that
some
wobble.
separation
What
going. They're
the
all
freak?
got separation.
Man.
Taylor Filkins is
Woo.
pulling out the rear here, so let's see if they can negotiate that back corner. Oh, yeah. There it goes already. It looks like that same corner.
Roger
That
Jolly
same
seems in
corner.
the lead. Roger Jolly has been unbeatable this.
Yeah,
All right,
Roger
here we go. Here we go.
won the first time.
Oh, whoa,
against
whoa, whoa,
Electric
whoa,
Green.
whoa,
Got a little
whoa.
wobble, wobble.
Wobble there.
Wobble, wobble.
See if he can hold it. He holds on. All right.
Oh my
Here
God.
we go.
got
Here we
Zach
go.
Darnell, followed by Michael
Oh,
Martin.
and he takes him on the inside.
Michael
Oh,
Martin.
no.
No,
He said,
tried to
no,
pass him
I'm
on the
not giving it
inside.
up. He said,
Oh
I'm not
wow.
giving it up.
Wow.
Man.
He tried
This
to
is
take him on the
crazy.
inside, but was unable.
That was quite the move there.
All right, here we go.
Zach Darnell is
Guys,
in
you
first
know, if
place,
I
followed
went,
by
I would
Michael
absolutely
Martin.
go
Michael
with my
Martin's waiting
high-speed
for his
MSP.
opportunity. He looks
Just
like he's
to prove
trying
a
to
point.
overtake him on the outside.
Just to prove a
Oh,
point.
we got a little wobble.
Can he pull it? He pulled it back from the outside again.
Here they come
And
down
here
the
he
stretch.
goes down the stretch. He's
Zach
going to
Darnell.
force it. He's going to force it. Oh, my God.
Oh.
Whoa. What?
Wow.
That was a
Almost,
photo
almost,
finish.
almost.
Photo finish. I am not sure who took that one. I am not
Photo
sure who took
finish.
that. We're
I
going to
always
have
wear
to look
gloves.
back at the video.
Wow.
That was unbelievable close race.
Wow.
Unbelievably
That's what we
close
come
race.
out here for.
Wow.
That was wild.
Wow, Seth. I
We're gonna
cannot
have to-
believe that.
We're gonna have to go to the instant replay to see what we have. Wow.
I can't call it. I can't call it. We can see it right in front of us. There's drone footage.
That
The
was
drone has a
amazing.
little bit of a delay, so we're trying to watch to see. And as they came by, it was neck and neck. And it seemed
Yeah,
like
hop
they were
online,
pushing,
guys,
so I'm
if you
not
want to chat.
sure
I
who
know
took
some of you
it
got to
and
go to
took
work.
that one.
I do too. But if you want to
I
chat,
think that was that was just their victory lap. Yeah, they were already done, ladies and gentlemen. That was just their victory lap.
All right.
Wow,
That was great.
I am anxious to see how they call that because I couldn't quite call it from here. Seth could.
So we're gonna have a final, or was that the final?
Well, that was the last four there, so it
Yep.
should be the first, second, and third
Yeah.
place out of that.
So Michael Martins or Zach Darnell.
One of them will be the
One
winner.
of them will be the winner. That is true. That is true. Zach Darnell.
Zach
took the
Darnell.
edged out. Michael Martins
Martins.
at the last moment.
He was, and
That was exciting.
yeah,
That was
definitely,
quite- Quite the race.
unbelievable, people. I listen.
This has been an amazing experience.
I'm not
Thank
gonna.
you
I'm not
so
gonna.
much for co-hosting with me. That was
Oh
amazing.
man, I'm not gonna
Oh, is it
lie to you.
finished?
My heart is still
think it is.
beating.
let's talk about
That
it.
was that.
Yes.
So
So yeah,
another
Jeffrey
race.
and
people.
Kevin.
Jeffrey
There's
and
another
Kevin.
race.
Show
Heat.
is
Looks like there's
down,
another
so
race.
Jeffrey and Kevin are gonna fight it out.
okay. There's another race.
He's ready. He said. I see Kevin making his way up.
This is the worst part of taking out the tire from the MSP.
So, let me see.
Worst part,
Wow,
but that's
what
okay.
was this here? Let me see.
That was
The,
Kind of have a
exciting.
system.
yeah, Jeffrey
in
and
place.
Kevin. He said.
I'm gonna go ahead and check the live stream, see if we have any questions. If you guys have any questions while we're in this little lull here, let us know
Kinda.
down in the live
Kinda.
chat.
What I do is I put it like this, and then I
All
pull
right,
it
so it
apart.
looks like we have. Wait,
Probably not the best approach.
Kevin,
what are we looking for?
There we go, sort of.
I think Show is out for medical.
Yeah, but I thought we had Jeffrey in this one. Didn't she say?
There we
I'm
go.
not
See?
quite sure.
Look, just like that. So you put it on its side,
There he is, Jeffrey
Pull it
Peralta.
apart.
Okay, I thought so.
and you know,
Jeffrey
that's what's
Peralta,
up.
Kevin Zavala.
And then you have this machine.
And who do we
So-
have as a third racer over there in the middle?
I'm not certain who that racer is. Is that Ethan McPherson?
Woo!
I can't quite see the number on him. I know we have Jeffrey Peralta,
Jeffrey Peralta.
Kevin Zavala.
Joe Scott is in.
I
there.
bought these,
Joe
Scott
is coming up to the
I bought
start
this
line.
Oh, is he?
illuminated
So Show Scott is here. So we have Kevin
valve
Zavala.
covers from AliExpress, and I haven't had the chance to test it out. But I have a feeling it does not light up, man. I don't know. Can't tell. Let me turn off the light. Doesn't look like it lights up, but we'll see.
Show Scott,
And Ethan McPherson.
Ethan
I believe,
McPherson, and Jeffrey
105.
Peralta. We are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Again, there's a slight delay
gosh,
here on
he
the
goes.
drone
That's-
footage, but
He
you can
might
see us
disconnect the internet in a little bit. Let me go take care of it.
We call the race from here. Huge shout out to Seek and Shred for providing our race timing today.
And they're off. Here we go. Oh boy, a little bobble. They're bumping together there, and they're trying to find their slots.
Seems like Jeffrey had a good head start, but he
Oh.
ended up slipping a little bit. So
Here's that dangerous corner coming around the second corner. Let's see
Kevin
what happens
Zavala
right here.
in first place, followed by Show Scott and Jeffrey Peralta,
And they're
Ethan
moving.
McPherson in fourth.
All
Ethan
right.
McPherson is passing on the outside. Nope.
Kevin.
not
I mean,
gonna- he
oh
was
boy.
out.
He
was
recovers.
off.
He recovers.
recovered.
Here we go.
We
Here we
got
go. We got
Kevin.
Kevin, Show, Jeffrey, and Ethan. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. This is anyone's race still. And we remember from the last one, the third place came up and creeped up. So let's see what happens. Oh no.
We've got a rider down.
Kevin is,
That's
Jeffrey. Jeffrey Peralta is down.
Jeffrey Peralta is
He was
down.
our come from behind last time.
I didn't see what happened there.
He hit the same thing that happened.
Oh, took it a little too wide, huh?
Yeah, he hit the edge, caught the dirt, wobbled a little, and
Now these riders really need to temper their speeds going into these corners if they're going to make them on time.
Well, it looks like we have a battle here right now between Show and Kevin. We'll
I'm not
see what
sure
happens.
what kind of a battle it is. They're both riding for Alien Rides, I believe. They're teammates, right?
I think they're still battling to see who's going to take first and second place. There may be less battling and more high-fiving.
I think Kevin may want to check his watch. He's been checking it quite a bit. I'm not sure if he's got the right time.
Yeah,
He's got
there
to
he
catch a
goes.
flight.
It looks like Kevin is going to take that hands down quite easily. And coming in behind him is Show Scott. So it looks like Alien Rides has taken that victory. Ethan
All right.
McPherson came in behind him. And Jeffrey Peralta, after his fall, was able to get himself back up and made his way around the course. And he comes up in fourth place. So we didn't have any position changes like we did in the last couple of races. But that definitely was still a good race. A lot of speed and a lot of skill by these gentlemen on these wheels.
That was an amazing finish. That was great. That was great. That was in our open 100 volt and under category. I think that wraps it up.
I think we're good.
I would love to live stream jumps. Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right, folks. So our
Sorry, I was on mute. But this race was bomb. This was bomb. I honestly wish I was there. Wow, I just couldn't make it. You know what I would have done? I should have sent an ambassador, someone who really believes in Stride's philosophies, and say, go out there. I'll pay you $100. But I really wish I could have made it. Damn. I mean, just look at the stretches. You know what I mean? Wow. But I would have brought my high speed. I would have brought my high speed MSP, to be honest. Wow. Let me do this. I'm gonna feed my boy. That's okay. That's the last feeding of the night. But there is a video I want to do a live review on, and that's from Wrong Way, Electric Dreams, and another guy that I don't remember seeing him anywhere. But it doesn't mean he doesn't exist. They were basically talking about the new wheels. So I thought that was a well done video. I just had I don't know. I don't think I have much critique about it. I didn't really hear too much opinions. So maybe I can put my opinions.
They're saying my baby should get vaccinated for COVID.
All right, here we go. Awesome. This was a great video. So let's take a look at it. And maybe I'll do some live commentary while I feed the little one.
I think I need to sit there. Jack, sit down, Colvin. Sit down. Hi, and welcome to Wrong Dreams, EFAM. And today we're going to talk about all of the new wheels coming up end of this year and next year. Total of I think 8 wheels we're going to talk about.
Or 9 or something around there.
Plus the K6. So we have Jack here, Electric Dreams, so subscribe to his channel, and Albert EFAM UC, also subscribe to his channel. We're recording this a second time because the first time I didn't turn on the microphones.
You f*** up.
Let me tell you more about it. Right, so here we have a list of all of those new wheels coming up. In general, we are semi-hyped about it because we just learned our lessons throughout history. It just turns out that the wheels that we hyped up for are not that hypey after all once we get them.
Be excited, but not too excited.
Do you want to put your mic closer?
Yeah,
Did you find
well,
a spatula?
I have just one spatula.
Chopstick? Fork?
I have a chopstick, but I can hold it, Jack. It's all right. Perfect. Anyways, first on the list, we have the Emotion V13. And we have a couple videos.
So we're gonna put the videos and the media content that we're looking at like onto here, so you guys can see what we're talking about.
First, what super high performance wheel by Emotion?
Yes.
126 volt. Here we have the specs. 140 kilometer an hour free spin.
They skipped the popular 20.
Yeah, 22
They
inch.
skipped the popular 20 is like the undisputed size.
No, it is, but I think as you get into the higher speeds, the bigger wheel provides that extra stability.
That's true.
It's interesting. We're getting into the time where it's like we're about to get into where we ride 22s.
Fair use. Fair use. There's this thing called fair use. Just in case they cut me out.
And the Monster V3 was 22.
But the Monster, like, no one really likes it.
NANI?
You know, like, very few people like it.
It was fine, but it was expensive.
It was also a niche wheel at the time,
Yeah.
because you talk about like the Monster V3 or whatever. It didn't have a crazy big battery. It didn't have crazy big voltage, right? It was like 84
It
volt.
wasn't crazy fast.
It wasn't crazy fast, but you had a big package. Whereas you could get that same performance out of an 18XL or whatever other wheel you could get.
MSX 100 volt at that time.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to V13, 4.5 kilowatts nominal power, 10 kilowatts peak power, and 300 newton meters, and just a 3 kilowatt hour battery, pretty much the size of a Sherman, also same or similar batteries.
126 volt.
But 126 volts, so that's different.
Don't forget, the most important thing that Emotion wants you to talk about, it's the heaviest motor they've ever made.
To produce such an amount of power, the motor is much heavier than all of its counterparts in the market.
Because having a heavy motor is bad. It's just plain not a good feature. You know, the weight to performance ratio goes down.
The power to weight ratio.
Power to weight ratio. You have more unsprung mass. And when we were recording the first take, we were talking that, you know, the V11 had a lot of unsprung weight because the suspension was sort of bouncing with the wheel and the motherboard and everything. Probably the motor of the V13 will be as heavy. So it will really depend on the suspension here if it has rebounds, if it will be good.
Quad piston, so 2 on each side as well.
But still no rebound dampening from what I've heard.
Yep.
So it's still not a great suspension regardless.
Yeah.
So
it's good until you bottom it out.
Yes. Or you go to a bump. As I said, the V11 is really good until you hit a bump that's bigger than its suspension travel.
Yeah.
And that is when you start flying.
Yeah, that's where you launch.
So we'll see if they use the same charge port as the S22.
Yeah.
But overall, we're concerned about, I think as a unit, we're all concerned about the complexity and what they've tried to achieve with the V12. And whether it's high speed or high torque, we're still kind of in that phase where it's not the new motherboards that they've sent out. We don't know if it's like 100% yet. People are starting to get them, starting to put it on their wheels. It's concerning, right?
Yeah.
It's concerning. So
yeah, because it has, what, 42, 44, we don't know.
40-some MOSFETs.
So at many capacitors.
18 capacitors.
And they,
not redundant.
on the V12, you know, we had problems first with the MOSFETs and then just with the software, then heat dissipation on the V12. I fell twice because of the software problems. So if you have software problems and so much complexity in your wheel, you know, it might go wrong, but might be also right.
Applause for to Emotion for like really finally making their first high performance wheel.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, and they have that metal frame on there, so they're really like, they did do some market research, and they are catering to what people want in this community. Better late than never. Better late than never. So yeah, current
It all doesn't matter.
I disagree with that.
Right
Yeah,
now, so
correct.
you're capped at 90.
Yeah.
Which is still plenty fast.
I disagree with that.
But then you also
I disagree with that. Electric Dream said that they're building something that the market wants. What? The weight? I don't think the market wants that, especially at 3,000 watt hours and the weight being insanely crazy with that. I mean, I don't think that's what the market wants. I think everything else, where safety is concerned, BMS, all that stuff, yeah, maybe, but not the weight.
also hitting this other problem. So, like, for example, the Master, if I ride it nice and easy, you can get really good range, like 60, 70 kilometers.
Easy.
But if I'm going 75 or 80 kilometers an hour, that battery is going to drain in 30 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
And with this having only a 3 kilowatt hour battery, and you can go almost 100 kilometers an hour, I'd like to see where that range
You'll
will
go
be.
around the block, and you'll have to come back and
I
charge.
think
Yeah.
also up to like probably 90% battery, you'll be able to go that fast,
Yeah.
and then it'll just limit you. But you also explained really well what it's like with the, you know, having that many parts. So
with electronic binning, there's a certain percentage for component failure, and it's really luck of the draw because they can't really test all the transistors, all the MOSFETs, and see what is working and what is not before they quality bin. And as you have so many components onto one control board, unless InMotion says there's some redundancy in their MOSFETs or in their capacitors, I am still going to work on the assumption that if you lose one or two capacitors, that wheel's not going to. Going to operate. And so now the probability has stacked that the more components you have, the higher probability of a bad component you can have.
yeah.
So you got to be very careful with that.
Or the component getting damaged during using the wheel.
That's correct too.
So that's a
Okay,
concern.
so overall, like, V13, right?
We gotta
Wait and
see.
see.
Wait and
Wait and
see.
see.
Yeah.
So
So
hopefully not see and fall.
most expensive wheel as well.
Yes, most
Most expensive
expensive
wheel that is, I think, is I mean, we're gonna talk about the Master Pro.
Yeah,
There,
that'll be later.
but is that more expensive?
It's $100 cheaper.
It's $100 cheaper for 1,800 watt hours more.
Yeah.
And
So-
134 volt.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, if you're an InMotion lover, you know that sounds kind of wrong, but if you like InMotion wheels,
If you
just
love to be
careful.
in motion.
I kind of set this one up. Then just be careful, play it by ear, and just pay attention to what everyone's saying about their products when they do get it. So yeah.
Yeah, then they do have that pre-order discount, which is really good for the batch one wheels. However, I will say I would still wait and see because pre-order pricing or not, it's still an expensive wheel.
Okay, here's the thing: when no one buys the V13, it won't matter about the retail price because
Yeah.
they'll have to drop the price
That's true too.
to try to sell the product.
Yeah.
You know, and as far as I can see, that six grand price with the current lineup of wheels that are coming up will not stay.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't see people paying 6 grand. 6 grand Canadian, sorry, right?
Yeah, $6 Canadian. We're talking Canadian dollars today.
Yes. Okay, next wheel.
Anyway, so yeah, we have the Veteran Sherman S next in line. So the new Veteran suspension wheel, 100 volt,
3,600 watt hour.
but 24 MOSFET, so much more powerful than the Sherman, and a good suspension.
Fast Ace.
Fast Ace, right?
Yeah, so they partnered with Fast Ace suspension, which is really nice. I think it's a good step. Just because, as we can see, Begode, the shocks, they started out really terrible. They've gotten a little bit better, but we still have bottoming out problems on bigger jumps.
It still leaks air,
Yeah.
and that's why a lot of people are pumping to 400 psi. I'm unsure if that shock is designed for 400.
Yeah.
Probably not, but people are buying air shocks that go to 400 psi so that they don't bottom out, and then when they don't bottom out, the air doesn't leak.
But that's
when you do bottom
also-
out, you lose half your chamber basically.
But that's also geometry that
Correct.
Begode just didn't, make.
Utilize the whole travel.
Yeah, so here in the Sherman S, we have also something totally different. We have just a tube sort of. like
Similar
in
to
the
the V11.
V11 or V13.
Or V13,
Yeah. So that's really cool that they have this cooperation going for them.
So the Sherman is a little bit harder to keep up because there's videos here and there. So we'll link it and we'll post it in the video. But you do have to do a little bit more digging around to find the features of the Sherman S. It's like a metallic construction. So rather than having metal roll cage around it, it's the construction itself is made of metal, right?
Yeah. Magnesium is really light though, so it's not going to be
Magnesium
like an EX20 type of weight.
Yeah.
However, it is expensive. So if you do crack your shell, getting a
Now
replacement
instead of getting a
shell
plastic,
instead of a
bending
10
your roll cage back.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of like a $10 to $50 shell, you might be talking about like $100 side panel for that magnesium alloy.
18-watt headlight, external buzzer, supports up to 15 amp charging.
So more than the Sherman.
Done feeding the boy.
New phone,
new type of
integrated
trolley
handle.
So far, I agree with them, except for the weight of the.
I guess that's a lift
paddle
switch.
I don't know what the paddle
I think it's a lift
switch is.
switch.
They had the pedal switch. I don't know if that's for the foot plates or
Maybe I think they're trying to say pedal switch or
pedal.
Yeah, maybe pedal.
The
Pedal.
yeah,
that they also go out.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's what they mean. Not really sure if that's useful.
But
by the way.
that's they used the wrong.
So the only thing too is like it's a little bit better than the Sherman Max, where it says like what increased speed by 5% and torque by 8%.
Yeah.
But those are not mind blowing numbers. Like those are like Apple S, like year over year S upgrades. You know.
We've reinvented.
By the way, that guy on the left, I don't know what his name is, but he's very intelligent. Like the way he's talking and the things he mentions, he sounds like someone who's very authoritative on specs, I guess.
The
Very impressive.
iPhone,
The battery is now 10% better.
the best iPhone yet.
The Sherman is S. We also were talking before about the sort of top of the wheel. It doesn't look very ergonomic. So, there might be parts that will be hitting against your knee.
That is true. It reminds me of the Abrams, actually, because when I had a Fees from E-Rides test out the Abrams, the very top of the Abrams was kind of square, so it was going to be difficult to move between your legs. This one looks a little bit tapered, like a little bit curved, so it might not have that issue. And also, it's a much smaller profile wheel than the Abrams. So maybe he's right. I don't think so, because I saw the other guys. I saw the testers riding this Sherman S, and it seems really well built. It seems like they went back to the drawing board on this one, to be honest with you. Yes, they didn't add the roll bars and stuff, but as I mentioned in the previous live, they have, what's it called? Cast, some type of material that this shell is made out of, which probably will make up for, minor crashes and stuff like that. So the rail won't add too much more weight, because you already have weight with the suspension on there. So. And Sherman uses really good quality parts, so that alone adds weight. It reminds me of the Sherman reminds me of the Z10. Remember the Z10? The quality, the material the Z10 used was so dense that the wheel, being so small, was still pretty insanely heavy for such a small wheel. And it seems like Librachem has the same quality shell, or better, actually. So. Yeah, it looks good.
Or in general,
well.
it just doesn't give me the vibe that it's like shaped towards your leg.
It does have a new display. They're not using the same display as the Sherman Max.
It does look good when going upstairs, though.
Yeah, it looks good.
It doesn't look that pogo-y, but again,
It looks good, but it actually doesn't look like he has that much travel either.
True.
When he was going.
No. I think the Sherman S. I think that's one of the things I disagree with. The Sherman S has 90 millimeters of travel. The Master, in comparison, has 80, I believe. So it has 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I believe it has 10 more millimeters of travel than the Sherman. I'm sorry, than the Master. So there you go. I think it's on par with the Master. By far, the KS20 is number one in terms of travel. But when you marry performance with like range and like just build quality and maneuverability, etc., I think obviously the Master does well, but this one has like crazy, way more watt hours than the Master, plus suspension, 3,600 watt hours. I mean, damn. The only thing that I'm concerned about with the Sherman S is the top speed.
That might be actually not a bad thing because for now we had only like big suspension travel wheels.
Yes.
So maybe like.
So everything they say from now on regarding travel is almost irrelevant if I'm right, because it's 90 millimeters of travel.
Less travel but really stiff might be a cool option.
More than the Master.
You mean like riding the bump stops on the S22?
Yes.
And not to mention that it's going to possibly be less maintenance, because there's a lot of maintenance you have to do with the Master, with the with pretty much all wheels right now, minus the InMotion V13, which is not out yet. But the InMotion V13 and the Sherman S it seems like these two wheels are going to be low maintenance suspension wheels.
Amazing suspension.
I think it's a 2-inch bump stop that a lot of people love to ride.
You say that, and then you literally put bump stops on your Master.
That's because I don't want to hear the clunk anymore.
He put the T4 bump stops on the Master. I think there's a couple of like features. Obviously, this wheel is made of metal. The handlebar is like the entire top part of the wheel, and then the foot plate or the pedals, they adjust for lengthwise.
Yeah, lengthwise.
And also they click into place as you're holding it up, because people have Drizzlers and non-Novas or whatever, so they can't put their pedals all the way up, so they want to keep it as small profile as possible. So with this clicking in place,
it allows you kind of like a car door where you can set your car door in different positions. And
That's actually a very good call, because man, I have like custom pads on my wheel, and I really wish there was a much easier way to have my pedals stay up. The EXN, Begode ended up putting like these metal clips between the pedal hanger and the pedal, which I thought was great. But when I took the pedal out, I forgot to put it first and then put the pedal, and it broke. So I have to buy another one on eBay or AliExpress. But that is a good call. That's attention to detail, and that's why I like Sherman. That's why I like Lubricant, because when they first released the Sherman, that's the first thing we said about them, right? Is that I called it the people's wheel, because they did everything in their power to give you a crazy amount of performance in a small package. Yes, it was heavy, but it was still a small package. You know what I mean? Versus these new wheels, which tend to cut corners and give you this massive wheels with massive, like, it just takes up so much space. You know what I mean? And I think Leaperkin was kind of going in that direction with the Abrams, and they're like, holy smokes, we shouldn't have done that. And they went back to the drawing board.
It'll stay there.
yeah.
But I still think that over time that can wear down. And so maybe it's an added complexity that's not needed. I still prefer the Begode way, which is the grub screw, which if it gets loose, you can tighten it. And then it's kind of like a Rolls Royce door where you can put it in any position you want based on the pad that you have.
I haven't seen the screw on the Begode work all that well, though. Like,
it works pretty well.
Free technical training helps hourly employees move into higher paying jobs at Amazon.
Yo, what does Electric Dreams have against Begode? He said it didn't look like it worked all that well, though.
You might have to tighten it.
The guy was like, EFAM EUC was like, no, it worked pretty well. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You might have to tighten it every so often.
I think it also depended on the wheel. On some wheels it worked better, like they put it in a better place, and in some worse. I think on the Master it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we have a couple more videos. We have a rim strength video where they show.
So what I'm doing here is I don't know where my other plastic piece is. This is designed specifically to remove rubber from the rim, of a bicycle. But I forgot where my other one. I don't know where my other one is. So I've been using this bread knife. And what I do is I take this first. You take the pressure out, obviously. Go in, right? Hook it in. Then you push it out like this. And then you use the bread knife, all right, to hold it down. And then you just slide the plastic piece across. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So that the rim bends after
3 hits.
After 3 hits.
I don't know if that was the purpose of the video, but I mean, okay,
it looks a bit better though.
If you guys aren't in the Broken Veteran Sherman Rim Club, join up because
Was it like
5 stars.
BVSR?
it's a very complicated acronym. But yeah, I mean, I've broken I think 3 rims. Everyone pretty much has if you've owned a veteran Sherman.
I shattered my rim on a pothole.
I just broke the rim on the Abrams. I didn't break on a Sherman.
Yeah, but
it's
not the best rim quality. So it's good that you can tell by the video, even though they broke their rim after like 3rd, 4th hit.
Yeah.
That they know that this is a problem. They're addressing it. They're doing their best to address it.
Yes.
So let's sum up the Sherman S. Are we excited? Are we?
I think it's a good iterative wheel, and the fast A suspension is a good step to try.
Yes.
But if you look at the whole package, from my own perspective, you look at the whole package with regards to price, I don't know whether it'll still be competitive in the end of 2022 to the beginning of 2023.
Right. For me, like, it really depends on the reliability, and Sherman Max and Sherman have proven themselves sort of to be a very reliable and waterproof wheel. So if they hit those 2 elements, waterproofing, water resistance, and reliability, and just good ride, in terms of performance, it should be better than Sherman Max because it has twice the MOSFETs. Then it just might be a good product. Like, I know there's many wheels coming out now with more volts, faster speeds, maybe more performance. But I think if they just do this right, it might be really competitive. And it will also depend on the price, of course. Because if you will have it at the price of the Master Pro with more battery, then might be a bit more of a tough sell. But I know that people really crave this, durability and good water resistance. So if they hit that right, might be cool. But yeah,
the Sherman Max is what, like 5,000 Canadian right now, and the Master Pro is 5,900 Canadian.
Yeah.
So if you add a suspension onto the Sherman Max, and let's say you add a couple $100, you're around the $5,500 mark already.
Right.
And is at $5,500 next year March, will it still be competitive? Is the question.
Yeah.
I'm more excited than the V13.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yo, what is wrong with Electric Dreams, yo? What's going on? What is he talking about? How are you more excited about the V13 compared to the freaking Sherman S? Maybe he has his reasons, but I'm not getting it. He's a racer. He just came from racing a Master, and he did great. It just fell because his legs probably got tired. But dude, like, the most important thing for a wheel is portability, because that's why we got into this in the first place. The second is performance. Performance where power delivery is concerned, range, stuff like that. In motion seems to be on the down low. I gotta wait to see how this thing performs, but it would shock me if the V13 end up being like a performance wheel. It would shock the freak out of me, because the last video we saw with the V13 holding brakes, the guy literally had to yank it back. Like, he was on the wheel. And he was, oh, I forgot where the camera is. He's on the wheel and he's yanking it back. But if that was in slow motion, and that was a snapshot. But if you watch the actual video, you'll see how long it took him to stop. Like, it took him a while to stop. And that makes sense because it's a massive motor, hence it's a massive wheel, right? So if you can't stop the wheel, if you can't maneuver the wheel, the only credit we can really give to InMotion is the fact that they innovated where the battery safety is concerned, where they added crazy MOSFETs, capacitors. But then I had a question about the capacitors, though. You have a ton more capacitors, but what's the capacitance of each capacitor? Did you just break it in half? Because let's say this capacitor on here is 560 microfarads. Did they just break it up? Did they just cut it in half and then added more? You know what I'm saying? What's the capacitance of each capacitor? You see what I'm saying? Because they could have just reduced the capacitance just because of the space that they had. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. So there's a lot of questions, but I just don't understand his excitement for the V13 unless he's been waiting for InMotion to create something that would, compete with current wheels and finally they've done it, and then he's just happy about it. But other than that, I don't see the justification for his excitement. Holy smokes. The V13 versus the Sherman S, are you kidding me? There's like no comparison.
Actually,
The V13 is very hesitant.
I'm not like, oh my god, I'm gonna put my pre-order down right now and buy it. But yeah.
So that's that, I guess.
Commander?
Yeah, let's talk about Commander.
The sister wheel looks very.
Okay, so that was my bit. They added their bit, so let me add my bit. About the Sherman S, I think that the Sherman S is a great attempt by Librachem in order to regain their reputation as a freaking great company. Okay, some people say they were a one-hit wonder. I don't think so. I just think that they should have taken their time, and they didn't. They tried to keep up with everyone else, and they made a mistake. I don't think they're going to make that mistake again. I think they've gone in the right direction, focused on portability, focused on power delivery, focused on range. Range was the number one thing. Quality was the number one thing where the shell is concerned. Components are concerned, and just overall how it looks to the eye. The appeal of the wheel from the first day to this Sherman S, the appeal was just great. Waterproofing, I'm not sure. I don't even think the Sherman is waterproof. It's water resistant, but I don't know how waterproof it is. Hopefully this one's a lot more waterproof because, I mean, to me it looks like it, but I would really like to know for sure with the IP rating. But overall, I think that if they take their time to test this wheel as much as possible, you know what I'm saying? Power delivery, like do a crazy amount of braking, do a lot of braking, a lot of hill climbs, because remember the first time the Sherman came out, it failed on Overheat Hill, and what's terrible about that fail was that there was no warning; it just popped. So then they had the BMS issue. So overall, I think they've learned a lot from their mistakes and a lot from a lot of other companies' mistakes, and they're just going to encapsulate all of those errors and fix them in this beautiful wheel and make a great comeback. I think the Sherman S is, between the V13 and the Sherman S, is the way to go. As a matter of fact, the Sherman S seems to be the wheel to really have compared to a lot of these wheels, because I said there's still no 60 mile per hour wheel. 50 mile per hour wheel. The EXN can do 50 miles an hour, but that's very subjective. Your weight, the speed, the wind, etc., temperature. The master also is very subjective because it depends on which version you get. If you get the Molicel 2000 watt-hour version, you're going to hit the ground. You're not going to hit the ground. You might do 50 miles an hour, but for how long? If you get the other version, which is 10 amp output, the Samsung, I believe it's the Samsung, you're not doing 50 miles an hour. And if you do, you got to do it gradually. Otherwise, you're going to cut out. The only truly 50 mile per hour wheel out here right now is the Monster Pro. That is it. And maybe the new Master X, whatever, and Master Pro to come. But unless we can do 50 miles per hour or 55 miles per hour consistently, like the way we cruise at 45 miles an hour with no big deal, there is no 50 mile per hour wheel. Now, V13 is saying that they can do 55 miles an hour. I would like to see that in action before you can make that claim. But Sherman S, between all these wheels right now, even the Begodes, is the way to go for now.
Similar.
Yeah.
Very
In
similar
my opinion.
specs.
So it's
In
the
my opinion.
Commander Pro.
In my opinion, with the Commander Pro being a close second, in my opinion.
But it's basically the Commander with suspension is, in short, what it is. 3,600 watt hours, 100 volt, 3,500 watt high-speed motor, central damping system, magnesium alloy lightweight side plate.
Same material.
Same
So
materials.
there's a few concerns of this wheel, even with the trolley handle too. Where
Yeah,
it's, again, the top
same.
piece, where this wheel looks like it's very similar to the Sherman S.
Yeah.
And we've
Sister.
seen some arguments about it on the Facebook. The company's kind of going at it, but
Dude, listen. You know what they say about copying, right? It's the best form of flattery. It's okay. Who cares? It's similar. So what? It's flattery. It's the same way as Master Begode copied very good aspects of the KS20. You see what I'm saying? So it ended up being better than the KS20. I mean, there's nothing wrong with copying. For a long time, InMotion, I don't see the same argument with InMotion. For a long time, InMotion had circular wheels. And InMotion it seemed dogmatic in keeping their circular design. Even with the V12, is it the V12? Yeah. If you look at the V12, there's still like some circular signatures in that square wheel. For a long time, people were making jokes about Begode saying, hey, it's a square wheel. It's a suitcase. Look at that square box. Why can't they change it up? It turns out that, if you want to fit the maximum amount of battery in a wheel, you need to have a square design because of how batteries are designed. It's just better in terms of, capacitance. Like adding more batteries in a square space is better than adding batteries in a circular space. So now you have Sherman went the square route, InMotion went the square route, Kingsong went the square route. For a long time, Kingsong had circular wheels. They went the square route with the 16X, and then from there, square moving forward. So, you want to say that now that they're copying, but copying is good, especially if you execute it properly. So I don't think there's anything wrong with copying something that works. You know what I'm saying? That's like a non-argument.
But yeah. Is there anything to be excited about on this wheel, really? I mean, it's a Commander with
the range. That's pretty much it, in my opinion. The range, and it has a shell. Because as much as I like the Master Pro X, the Master Pro, the KS20, I like the KS20, don't get me wrong. The Master, the one thing I like about these wheels with shells is that they have a shell. The battery is protected, the components are protected. I mean, you have more space to add more components, so you don't have to, shave a little space here and there. Just look what KS20 did. They ended up like making a board that's so small. You know what I'm saying? So small with all these crazy components in this tiny compartment under your seat. Why? Because there's no shell. So they have to make up for that. With these wheels, there's a shell. So you don't really have to make up for the lack of available space. So to answer his question, range, obviously speed, but a shell.
If it's a high-speed motor, then
it's
the
an old
Sherman's going to have more
wheel.
torque and more speed than that.
For sure.
I mean,
for
Adam
sure, man.
There's RGB on these pedals?
Yes, I think that's the selling point. Yeah, there's the honeycomb pedals. They're like see-through, and you have RGB in them.
But you can install those pedals on your Sherman.
No, that doesn't work. No, of course not. No.
Where are the batteries for them? Is it just like one of those circular batteries?
I don't really know.
Those
look like Begode.
It's probably like a 2032 CR battery or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Performance will be worse than Sherman.
So again, sorry.
Yeah, performance.
All right. So what are you basing that on, Mr. Wrongway? It will be worse than the Sherman. How? Maybe he means like overheating, because the Sherman does not overheat. And the one problem the Commander had was not its speed, was not its range, was not its power output. In fact, it has better power output than the Sherman. The issue with the first Commander was overheating. So maybe that's what he means.
Performance will be worse. Safety probably also a bit worse. We'll see about the suspension.
So the Commander.
Now, if it will be cheap, that will be a good sell, but it won't be cheap.
It won't be cheap.
Yeah, because the Commander sold really well. Even when I was at San Fran, a lot of people rode or owned the Commander because it was the highest capacity wheel you could buy. Despite it being expensive, people who had the money for it bought it. And
before the Max.
Before the Max. Came out, yeah. So now that we have all these different.
Right now, my choice is I want another wheel, guys. I really do, because the MSP torque, as nice as it is, it's limited. Okay, it's limited because when you get better, it's the same way when we first got into EUCs. You ride at 13 miles an hour. Later on, you want to ride at 40 miles an hour. You got Kingsong 16X to learn. Now you want an MSP. It's normal. So it's limited for me. So I want to get rid of that wheel. Either get rid of it or just store it somewhere as like some trophy and then get another wheel. And my choices right now, I'll tell you right now on live air right now, my choices right now is the Sherman S, number one. But then again, I'm worried about that top speed. So the Sherman S, the Commander suspension, and the Master Pro, but the 2400. I'm sorry, not the Master Pro, the Master 2400. I'm just waiting for issues to keep coming out with the Master. And then the EX30. These are my options. These are my 4 options right now. Okay? So Sherman S, Commander Pro or suspension, Master, and the EX30. These are my options right now.
Options. We even have a wheel that's 4,800 watt hours that we're going to talk about later. This doesn't seem so exciting anymore. And
well, you have to understand too, the Commander high speed had a huge.
The Commander is not here to excite you. Let me tell you guys right now. Don't look for excitement in the Commander. It has nothing to do with excitement. The Commander is a purpose-built wheel. What is the Commander good at? Range. What is the Commander also good at? Seating. What is the Commander also good at? Speed. That's it. That's really what you get out of the Commander. Now you add suspension to that. Holy smokes! You get a great cruiser. You get a possibly off-roading wheel that if you want to just take the trails, not the streets, because some people don't like the streets. You get the comfort of seating on a beautiful long-range wheel with performance. Holy smokes! It's not about excitement. Not all wheels are about excitement. The X-Max is exciting. That's an insanely exciting wheel. Yet, I don't see it on any of the sites. I don't see it on Alien Rides. I don't see it on e-wheels. I don't see it anywhere. But it's an exciting wheel.
Overheating problems.
Oh,
yeah. The worst overheating I've ever seen in any wheel.
That's true. And people who do trails, they can't have a high-speed wheel. You have to have either high torque or high torque at 134 volts.
Yeah.
Like, we were doing off-road recently with Jack on EXNs, and I had the Sherman Max, and they were just suffering so much.
Yeah.
They're like overheating.
Oh, the Sherman Max was suffering? I thought the Sherman does not overheat. But I think the Sherman is not designed for off-roading. That's the thing.
5 times while I could just, zip up the hill.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Commander Pro, meh.
Not that exciting.
Meh.
Lower than V13.
Yeah.
But it's not about excitement. The Commander is not about excitement. I mean, you could tell that in the design philosophy. It has nothing to do with excitement. It's like when you buy, an off-roading truck, you don't get the truck because of how it looks. You get the truck because of what you can do with it. You know what I'm saying? So the Commander offers that, minus the overheating problem. Hopefully they fix that. But that's what it's all about. It's not about excitement in terms of how it looks. It's about excitement in terms of what you can do with it. Is it capable? It's a highly capable wheel. That's all that matters.
Which is a
on paper. I haven't touched that wheel yet.
Hard bar to set, to be honest.
I think the Commander Pro is like at the very bottom. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any wheel.
Are there any other?
I think we're floored.
And guys, that's how what he just mentioned is why you should not buy wheels based on hype. They literally gave you this. They're literally telling you right now how to purchase a wheel without realizing they're telling you how to purchase a wheel. You don't purchase a wheel necessarily based on hype. You purchase a wheel. Didn't they open their live with that? They opened up their live by saying that a lot of companies come out with hype, and eventually the hype ends up wearing down. Well, now you have a wheel such as the Commander that has absolutely no hype, minus the temperature stuff. That wheel appears capable. Okay, so and I think Marty said that too. If it wasn't for the overheating problem, that wheel would be amazing. So on one hand, they're telling you not to be excited about hype, but then you have a wheel now that does not offer hype, but offers all the functionality and basics that you need out of any modern performance wheel. And they're saying it's at the last place. Come on, man. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's a capable wheel. And I have yet to see how that wheel is going to perform. But if you're looking for just a wheel that's able to keep up with the future, the Commander is it, man. Commander, Sherman S, Sherman.
Yeah, I would say...
maybe the Master X.
We'll see.
No. That's more volts.
That's true. So yeah, okay, they're floored. Commander Pro is the bottom of the list.
All right, so now we'll talk.
Nice.
So now we'll talk about the new Kingsong 16-inch wheel. Not very much info about it on the internet. Not much info from Kingsong. All that I.
My EUC journey. Your commander runs cool as F. Nice. You know, like I said, man, I told you what my options are. Commander is definitely on the list. It was on the list a year ago. The issue is, you know, at the time I didn't have money, but also the issue was the overheating. And I hated the rear. You know, some people had to literally take out the speaker from the back. No. And in order to make an adjustment, because that was just a hideous approach to design.
I know is I saw the render a long time ago and it looked very cool. And probably Jack knows more about it.
Yeah, so helped work on it a little bit, but our main focus during that time was to work on the S22. Through the concept designs, the wheel looked very promising. It looked very cool. We had many concepts and then we decided on one, and then I tested the framework of it, of its early days. So not at all what it's gonna.
And also, we got to give the EUC community, and I don't even know if there's an EUC community, to be honest. I should probably going to make a video on that, but we should give the EUC space some credit, because a lot of you said that, man. A lot of you said the KS20 looks amazing. It looks freaking amazing, but it's too good to be true. Like the motor, the battery, there were so many questions. And then when the reviews started coming out, like when the wrong way found the issue with the sliders and the fact that the battery wasn't heat shrinked? Yeah, heat shrinked or whatever. And then all these other minor things at the power delivery from the beginning. I mean, most of you were right. Most of you were actually right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give yourselves credit.
Be probably in the final product, but just the way the suspension works. Interesting product. Again, probably gonna be the most attractive looking 16-inch wheel if it holds up to its concept design.
I mean, Kingsong has never failed us on wheel design.
Yeah, so
the S18,
done a very good
the S22, they've all been really pretty wheels.
So people can. It's personal preference, but generally speaking, from what I've seen, is that Kingsong has brought in a lot of new riders into the EUC scene because wheels don't look
My boy was
like
playing
Begodes
with the wheel.
anymore.
Well, they don't look like suitcases.
Like the old Begodes, yeah. For sure.
You see, it don't look like suitcases, but they were the pioneers of the suitcase design, and now everyone is copying it, of course. But the other people, they're much better. They're way much better in their approach. It looks better.
So I'd say just if you're looking for a 16-inch wheel, the T4 is a very good option. I mean, we talked about working on it last year. It was supposed to launch sometime last year, but things got pushed back. I guess there's things happening within the company. So I guess maybe this year, maybe we'll hear something from Kingsong this year, but wouldn't hold your breath.
All right.
For it. So is my conclusion. Yeah.
Right. So
T4. T4 is the.
Let's go to the Begodes.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about this. So So T4 is.
But wait. Begode. Just as a quick reminder, Begode made like 6 wheel announcements in a very short time and made like all of their prior.
Begode is about domination. Begode is all about domination. It's not about. For a long time, Begode was literally in this space of performance wheels by themselves. There was no other company making performance wheels. None. For a long time. But now, Begode has made a ton of mistakes. Begode has made a ton of progress in the performance area that allows other companies to enter that space without much problems. Too much risk. Begode has already taken all that risk. So now you have these companies coming out with performance wheels. So, I just wish people would give them credit, but they're not. So I got to do it. Not because I gain anything out of it. I just like great designs, man.
Products obsolete.
Performance-wise.
Pretty much. So
yeah,
they literally just refreshed the whole lineup except for the MCM line.
Yeah, which probably will be also refreshed. Yeah.
But Albert, you want to give us what'd you see? What did you see?
So anybody who buys a recent Begode wheel, if you look at the certificate of authenticity, that piece of paper actually also states an MCM.
Oh, that was stating that for a while ago.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I saw it like a year ago.
And the M104 on there too?
Yeah, and Nicola too.
Oh yeah, so maybe they are coming.
I don't know. Would be cool though. Anyways, what should we start with? The T4?
T4.
Yeah, T4.
T4
we have it there. I think it's here right beside me.
here. Oh yeah, there's T4.
It's really muddy, really dirty.
Adam's been on it for a while. I've ridden it a decent amount.
It's
not
been
around
great.
the block.
It's been great. Like just from riding, it's pretty awesome. Like just for like most people, I think it has the most like well-rounded performance for like city riding because it doesn't get hot when doing trails, and we were doing really nasty trails in Squamish. That's why I have my knee a bit infected now. But it was actually running cooler than the Masters.
Yes,
10 degrees too.
So it's I think it's fun in a different way because when Adam's going through the trails, there's parts where he had to jump over.
Yeah.
And for me, because I was on the Master, I could just ride over.
Yeah.
So it's still doable with the T4, absolutely. But you just have to ride it in a different way.
It's a different style of riding.
Yeah.
It's super nimble in the city. Like the 16-inch tire works well. Top speed is like 60 something kilometers an hour, so also plenty of headroom and still a lot of torque. I think it's slightly more torque than the Nikola. So like for most people, I think that's.
And you have a review coming out still, right? So you did the like first impressions video, and then you'll have a review coming out. That's kind of
Well, we did a 6-kilometer hiking trail up to the trail that we were going to ride down, and the T4 had zero problems.
Yeah, it was running cool.
Yeah, it's
like the motor was cool to the touch.
Yeah.
Weird thing is that like with the Master, one of the most fragile parts is the rear tail light.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do we fix this? And then they put 2 vertical. I was just like, what? You just made it like
worse.
But it's a better tail light.
They're easier to replace.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah,
they it's like subscription.
Yes.
Begode should just have a subscription service for their parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, T4 anyways.
Yeah.
Nothing to
pretty
complain
good
about.
Wheel. Watch Adam's video when he rode it through the Squamish trails. It's like a follow along video.
And I think if you want to compare it to like that whole mid-tier level, so you have like the V12, S18, V11 I could put in there as well. In that mid-tier level, when the T4 comes out in large numbers, I think it would take over that mid-tier level.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
It's also great bang for buck, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's the same price as a V12.
When it came out, I was like, "Whoa, really? That cheap for a suspension wheel?"
Yeah.
And it's a proven product because they're using.
Your roommate just took up percussion. You need a job that gets you out of here.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do.
Using the same
100-volt architecture.
100-volt architecture, so
just a question about battery safety.
But that's Begode.
Yeah.
M104.
M104.
Okay, wait, T4. We're already ridden it. Still excited about it.
There will be maybe T4 HT coming.
Maybe. There's rumors.
That's my dream wheel.
Because there's a few people like yourself who want a high torque version, but I don't know. I think 16-inch wheels are torquey enough.
I think it will be like popular as an MSX.
Yeah, as I think it's going to become the next Commonwealth wheel.
I think
the Sherman S. Sherman S is just iterative.
It's the VW.
Is it recording?
Yeah. M104.
Oh wait, we didn't rank it.
Yeah, so I think for me personally, I think the T4, because of the price point and what you get for that price point, I think the value is higher than the Sherman S.
Yeah.
Because the Sherman S is a bit of an iterative wheel. So the T4, I think, has the potential to take over that mid-tier section.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I've tried the V11 before and sort of everything in this price range, V11, 16X, V12, RS, S18.
18, that's what it was.
S18. So this sort of has all of the features packed, and it has suspension, and it's not that expensive, and it has decent performance and like pretty okay features and a seat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think once people like try it and it doesn't like come out as faulty or dangerous, then yeah, I think it might catch on like the MSX years before, like like the Tesla Model 3 became the Toyota Camry in California. Now let's talk about trains. What became a popular train? I don't know.
The Honda Accord of EUCs.
No, I just don't want to talk about cars.
Considering everything like all the excitement that I've had for the T4 before getting it, and even now when I see a T4, I'm just like, it's a good wheel. I'm happy with it, so I still rank it very high. In our list right now. It's like it's like the highest right now of all the wheels that we've
that we talked about.
Talked about. Let's go talk about the next one, the M10-4.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love the M10.
It's so freaking cute.
It's so small.
Actually, we're going to EVs later, so I think Bradley's will probably have the M10-4 there. I really want to see it in person.
Yeah, probably over there.
I'm more excited about the new category in amped electric games, M10-4 bowling.
Everyone has to shoot it between Adam's legs and then make his other knee inflamed.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, so let's talk about. Can we open up the
the spec sheet?
Also, the funniest. Begode does funny shit, but they don't know, right?
They're not
like
aware.
when they do the
water test on the master
that I made fun of, and then this like they're just shooting this freaking wheel everywhere. They're just launching. They're full sending it.
Yeah, I love the headlight though. It's so fun.
So it's how would you say it? It's like steampunk, cyber-ish design, right?
I would even say it has like Ionic 5 elements. You know.
Why do you think people are so excited about the M10-4, M10-3?
Because it's cute.
I think it's like the thing with the M10-3 was there was quite a bit of issues with it. I think like at least if you're like a grown human being using it. So small foot plates, problems at least in my region with tubes or with tires deflating by themselves, small pedal hangers, axles breaking. So it was really, I think, just a small wheel for a child. And this seems to be an like actual wheel that you might actually use.
It's only 1 inch bigger, and that's only because of the tire.
No, but I think the M10-3, I think you're right. The biggest problem was the axle.
Yeah.
So you can break axles very easily.
So let's talk about the axle.
And it's a bigger battery too. It's 750 watt hours.
The axle is still the same size though, but...
Is it?
Yes.
Is it the same size?
Well, then that's a problem.
Yeah, the axle is still the same size, to my knowledge.
No, but it also depends on the size of the hole where they pull the cables out of.
No, so let me tell you. So... as law has tested. Well, I may be wrong. We'll find out. But I'm pretty sure the axle is the same size. I'm like 90% sure. But the orientation is different. So rather than the flat facing it's like vertical now.
Okay.
It's like vertical, so it can bear more weight.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, the part of the axle that's weak is not just because of the size of the axle, but also because the hole where they feed the wires through used to be really big. And so the actual amount of metal on the wire side of the axle is very small.
I've never had an issue with my axle on the M10, but it's not.
You're not riding hard enough.
I mean, yeah, just don't crash.
I think it's just cool, to have a very, very small wheel, and Begode is still the only one that makes a very, very small wheel. Children could use. You could use to go around the block. It's a very different experience to ride an 11-inch wheel.
Plus, it gives you the Borderland little. What's that guy's name? That Borderland character.
What?
I don't know which one.
I don't know.
We'll look it up later.
But it's the only wheel that's an 84 volt that is new. That no one's complaining that it's an old.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. No one has. But imagine if they made the M10-4
134.
134.
70 kilometers an hour on an 11-inch wheel.
It already has 57 free speed.
Yeah.
It's very quick.
And there's that video. There's that video that could go 45 on it.
Yeah.
There's a guy that did 45 on the video.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not. If anyone's ever ridden the M10-3, you'll know that wheel is fun because it's very engaging. It pushes you around due to the road surfaces.
Yeah. So
very fun wheel. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's beating the T4 in my list of It's super exciting. I've already pre-ordered one,
Cool.
and I can't wait to go back to China and get my hands on it. But
nice.
Yeah.
Right. I think that sums it up nicely.
Buy it.
Now,
Buy it.
Buy everything.
now we have.
Don't buy everything. Don't buy the Commander Pro, but buy it.
Now we have the Begode EX30. Or should we first talk about
Let's talk about the Master Pro.
because that was chronologically.
Sure. Let's talk about the Master.
Master Pro and X.
Which one? Which Master?
Master Pro and Master Pro X.
I think you're talking
Or
about
was
them
it
together.
Master
They're
Pro?
basically the
Yeah,
same.
yeah,
So they're basically the same wheel.
22
the
inches.
difference, 22 inches, 134 volt architecture. So you have and
The biggest battery we've ever seen in a wheel.
the biggest battery. So with 3,600 watt hours on your Veteran Sherman Max, you can realistically obtain, like as long as you're not too light and not too heavy, about 120 kilometers. So
I did
with
140.
140.
Yeah.
Easy.
So you'll 120 to 140 with 4,800 watt hours. You can now realistically do 200 kilometers.
Yeah.
Well, that guy in Thailand or whatever, he just posted, he did 200 kilometers riding at a 38 kilometer per hour average.
What?
Which is ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people think that's slow though.
So that's 10.
But that's realistically
No.
fast.
38 average is fast.
It's
Yeah,
very, very fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, super exciting.
How
Fast.
many lumens? 1,000 for the?
Nah, that's.
I think
Don't look at
that rider,
Is that 10 or 1,000?
It doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. It's not pointing in the right direction.
And it's not the right lumens.
No.
But it's super exciting. So it will be like the most long range ass, super quick suspension wheel ever made.
Yeah, and the guy who tested it too weighs like 85 kilos, so he's not even lightweight, right?
So
And
Master X is 3,600. Just to be clear, Master X is 3,600 watt hours, and Master Pro is 4,800 watt hours, and that's the only difference.
And we already had a cutout on it, sadly. So El Unicycle.
Sadly? Is it sadly?
He was
sadly.
pushing the boundaries though.
It's not sadly, Adam.
Not really.
Sadly.
He wanted to hit the limit.
He wanted to hit 100 kilometers an hour. I don't know if he wanted to hit the limits.
No, he said 100 plus.
But the point is, the Monster Pro did 94, 100 volt wheel, 18 MOSFETs.
Yeah.
This with 24, 134 volts, cut out at like 100
plus
103 or 2.
They don't know the actual number, do they?
I don't know. I think it's around 100.
It said 100.
So
It said like 100 plus.
Yeah, 100 plus.
But it always sucks if someone falls. So yeah, I hope you get better soon.
Again,
El
no
Unicycle.
stats.
Yeah.
Never happened.
But there's always going to be someone who's going to push the wheel to its absolute limit just to find out where the limit is.
Sad about.
So I said something earlier. I'm not sure if you guys heard me. I didn't realize I was in mute. But what I was saying was, damn, I really hope I wasn't on mute. Let me see. Anyway, what I was saying was I would get a Master Pro / Master X if I had a house, okay? And I would put it in a garage or a temperature controlled environment. And it would make sense because if it's in the garage, you wake up in the morning, go into work, head to the garage, just head right out, come back, put that button somewhere in your helmet, garage door opens, go right inside. That's what I see the purpose of this wheel is, or if someone buy it. Anybody can buy it, but yeah, I mean that's what I think. I forgot what they were just talking about because I was gonna say something. There we go.
Volt wheel, 18 MOSFETs.
Yeah.
This with 24, 134 volts, cut out at like 100.
Oh yeah.
Plus.
So what I was gonna say is, when you crash a wheel, you don't just because the top speed on the speedometer or your EUC World monitoring app might say a certain speed. That's not necessarily the speed you crashed at, because what happens is when you crash or cut out of the wheel, it tends to spin like crazy. So while it's spinning, it's still recording until it cuts out. Until the wheel actually cuts out, it continues to record the speed even when you're, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so you might think you hit like whatever, but you didn't. So when you, like, sometimes if you're riding and then you do a jump like mid ride because you're trying to avoid a pothole or whatever, and then you're riding really fast, like say you're riding at like 38 miles an hour, and then you jump over the pothole but not slowing down, going fast and then jumping, the monitor app is going to say you did 51 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour. But that might have been the spin, the free will spin of the wheel at that time. So that's something you got to consider. So that happens a lot when you crash. The wheel tends to overspin, giving you a wrong top speed.
103 or 2.
They don't know the actual number, do they?
I don't know. I think it's around 100.
It's like 100.
So
People said like 100 plus.
Yeah, 100 plus.
But it always sucks if someone falls. So yeah, I hope you get better soon.
Again, no stats.
Yeah.
Never happened.
But there's always going to be someone who's going to push the wheel to its absolute limit just to find out where the limit is.
Sad about that. I don't know.
I can be sad about the pain.
I hope he feels better, but he literally did it
for science.
He did it for clout, probably, and he did it for science. Sure.
Yes. But the main part of that video, though, is how well the wheel withstood the accident. That wheel bounced around.
If you find a picture of that, let's put it up
here
for people. Because
the wheel was pretty much undamaged.
Yeah, like it lost the front of the seat where the screen was.
From what I could see on that crash, though, it like didn't like do the tumble.
Oh, it did. If you watch the headlights, you see headlight, taillight, headlight, taillight, headlight, taillight.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But it held up really well.
You compare that to the master crash of Jimmy Chang.
Yeah.
And that wheel just got obliterated.
So essentially, it's the master. It's essentially the master, but bigger.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the T4 is the master smaller. The Master Pro is bigger.
I don't even know the T4 should be called a master smaller because it's a 100-volt architecture.
It's just a design. Just design aspect wise.
Yes.
Like yeah.
It's the master minus.
And dude, I just cannot wait. The T4, the Master, and the Master Pro just side by side. It looks so nice. It's like
coming soon.
You're gonna buy everything.
Yeah, but this wheel, exciting. Big wheel. Begode pushing the boundaries again, making sure that they are again the fastest, the biggest battery, all of that. So yeah.
So they didn't need to release the Master Pro, but they released the Master X for what reason?
Because people were complaining that the Master Pro is too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, if you're going to save a couple $100 just to save 4 kilos, and you lose a third of your battery, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Mm.
If you're going to go that route, I'd rather buy the EX30.
Of course.
That thing, when we don't even have all the information on the
Also,
EX30
when you're putting your phase wires, I believe, your motor wires, when you're putting back your motor wires, I like to write down on the battery or somewhere, like I did YBG, so yellow, blue, green, because that's the order I took it out of. Took it out. So now when I'm putting it back, I know yellow, blue, green. Just because if you put it the wrong way, wow. When you put it the wrong way, and you turn it on, it's gonna go brrr, it's gonna go nuts because it's crisscross. So just keep that in mind.
That one picture with like the 6 specs on it.
Hello.
It piques my interest.
Yeah.
So that wheel was just, I think, released 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, we can just slide into the subject. Yeah, the EX30.
EX30.
2 or 3 days ago.
So it looks like the Master, but
a Master chonk.
Inside joke. But yeah, so it's like, as you guys can tell by the image, it's like the Master, but just with more aggressive cuts.
Yeah.
What it is. And it's not actually released. It's
maybe more
releasing
aggressive
October,
cut-offs.
right?
In November.
In November, wow.
Yeah.
So they released this as a reactionary thing to what will be launched. What's it comparable to?
I think it's almost comparable to the Sherman S and Commander Pro in a way.
P13. Yeah.
Goodness,
because
dude, I'm sorry.
People were concerned about the 22-inch.
That wheel is freaking gorgeous. That is a gorgeous looking wheel. It's the same setup though. Except they they added a little bit more foam or a little bit more material for the pads to give it that look. But goodness gracious, the tail light is amazing. So the main thing they changed was the battery capacity, obviously. The display on the top looks a little bit more refined, unless I'm making that up. It just looks more refined to me. The tail light is awesome. The headlight is a little bit more recessed so that it's not sticking out in case of a crash. But then again, the material that they're using does not look robust at all in case of a crash. But I don't know. I have yet to find out. But that wheel looks beautiful. I'm sorry. That's a beautiful looking wheel. Do you guys agree?
Inch wheel size on a Master Pro. So this is supposedly a 20-inch wheel, so it fights directly with the Sherman S. The only thing that really excites me though, which I was very surprised about, was the use of the C40 motor.
Yeah.
So the C40 motor coming back into play, which for those of you who are not familiar with the motor codes, the C40 motor was initially announced in the EX.
The EX, yeah.
And it is a 17-inch hub motor, which means that on the EX, although it's a 20-inch wheel, there's no spokes on the rim. So it looks similar to like a V12 rim. Some people in the group were asking actually for the C40 motor. And so for them to release the C40 motor was kind of a curveball.
Yeah. And what's the, sorry, just for people, what's the high torque motor?
C38.
And what's the high speed motor?
C30.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So this is even more high torque than high torque.
C30 and C38, those are the most common ones that we use.
Yeah. But supposedly it has more torque than the Master.
I mean, it has 36 MOSFETs instead of 24.
And it has 4,000 watts instead of 3,500.
This could be just like a racing teleporting machine.
Is it me, or is it like the Begode's pushed the bar when they released the Master Pro?
Yeah.
When they released the Master
X, and then they're just like going all the way here, and then everyone's still here.
They just make their own competition.
Begode's goal is to dominate. Never forget that. Begode's goal is to dominate. And are they dominating? Yes, they're dominating.
People got a little bit closer, and then when they got a little bit closer again, Begode was like, "We're just gonna go all the way
to the top."
They're probably gonna rest for the next 5 years again.
We'll see the same design for the next 5 years, like the MSP.
All right, so time to connect the battery, the main connector. Now, you're going to see a spark. Typically, every time I've done this, I've seen a spark. So if you do this, never get surprised. You will always see a spark. I don't know if you guys are going to see it from this, but let's do it. Always freaks me out, man. Whew, goodness gracious.
I wouldn't mind.
Probably.
The wheels do look a whole lot better. I think this
design
will withstand time, just like the RS.
Modular design, yeah. So yeah, this wheel is super exciting.
Yes.
Let's turn it on. There we go. And it's on. Wow. Awesome, guys. It's totally on. Beautiful wheel, man. What a beautiful wheel. Holy smokes. This is my best wheel, the high-speed MSP. My next best wheel is the EXN, but I just can't figure out that overheating problem. Once I figure that out, maybe it'll be my top wheel. But for now, this is my top wheel.
That does look super exciting. But they released this wheel like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Well, announced.
Quote unquote.
So it's good. We didn't record this video earlier.
But then there's no spec sheet, no official spec sheet, and there's no official weight.
Yeah. Albert really wants to know the weight.
I really want to know what this weight's going to be.
He can't wait.
Top speed for this wheel for me so far is 48. I haven't pushed 49 yet. I would like to see if it can actually do it. The freewheel spin is not that much different from the EXN, but the EXN has a crazy, battery capacity. So I would never push this to 50 ever. I think Wrong Way actually crashed at 49 on his, so I wouldn't push it to 49. Maybe 48, maybe 49, just to feel the dip. But yeah,
wait for it.
Okay.
All right. Begode K6.
Is that
I think
it?
that's it with the wheels. Yeah.
That's it with the wheels.
Yeah.
So what do we most? I just like to round up all the wheels before we get to K6. For me, I'll go first. M10-4 all the way up. EX30, Master Pro. I like the Master Pro, but I don't need that range. I'm not a range rider. I'd rather get to where I need to ride and then ride that. Riding downtown to like out towards where I would like to ride isn't an easy task to do. It's unsafe.
Yeah.
So I don't need that much battery. I like the agility.
So that's where I am. Actually, maybe the V13 for the third place, but yeah, and then Sherman S would be fourth.
Okay.
But you could say I'm like very into Begode's new wheels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were.
You can't help it, man. You can't help it. I mean, it's hard to ignore greatness. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. It's just hard. It's tough. I know you want to, but it's hard, man. It's hard. I don't blame you. And don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad because you are in the midst of greatness.
Released 6 new wheels and everybody else released 1.
Yeah. What about you guys? What do you guys?
Albert, you want to go
You
first?
go first.
Yeah. All right. For me, actually, on first place, it would be the Sherman S. Just because I'm curious if they can make another solid wheel like Sherman
After the Abrams.
Yeah, after the Abrams fiasco. If they can make something water resistant and just that works, and then probably after that would be the EX30 just for the sheer performance brutality. I would be very curious to ride. T4 probably after that because as I said might become the next most popular wheel for good reason probably, and then Master Pro for the range. I love long range wheels and I love to have more parallel packs in my wheels, so that's very exciting. Probably after that, just I'm not that excited about the M104, so I'll put the V13 over it, M104, and then the Commander, which I'm least excited about.
Mm-hmm. Albert?
For me, I would say the EX30 because I want to see what that C40 motor can do at 134 volts. But the one thing that I forgot to mention was in their little preview that they came out with, they actually put that the motor was IP rated.
Oh yeah, IP65.
Yeah, so that's a first for Begode. So
IP rated for what? The EX30?
So they're listening, and I wonder if the rest of the wheel could be IP rated.
But Chinese IP rating.
Hey, it's better than no IP rating.
Hey, is it actually an IP rating or are they just writing it? That's what I'm saying.
That's a good question.
As someone who's worked in the industry, I'll tell you that not all IP ratings are actually IP ratings.
I think it's IP rating.
You know how many
Show me the
I'm just being biased.
document. I want to see the freaking document. It better come with my wheel. I want it in my box.
The V13 needs to come with
put
it
it
too.
up on the wall. Frame it. Yeah.
So I'd say the EX30 would be number 1 for me. Master Pro for what it can do. 18-inch wheels, 20-inch wheels with suspension's already comfortable. I can't imagine how much more comfortable a 22-inch wheel with suspension would be.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to see whether they've improved on their suspension between the Master and the Master Pro. The Master X, I'll just kind of dump in with the Master Pro because they're basically the same wheel.
Yeah.
I would say for third is maybe like the M104 because it's cute, unfortunately. And it's a perfect wheel just to chuck around, But yeah, the V13 and the Commander Pro at the very bottom. Sherman S would be kind of interesting to see, but it is iterative.
See, this guy's cool. He said the V13 at the very bottom, which is where it should be, at the bottom. I mean, it didn't do anything to gain our, respect yet. At the very bottom, let the V13 prove itself first, and then we can say, okay, whatever.
Nature, so I'm not too excited. It's like an iPhone 5 versus 5S kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that kind of rounds it off.
K6 Begode, 146 volt. That's the reaction.
Your voice waves knocked it over.
Have you guys tried? Have you tried the K4?
I didn't try.
I have not.
Did you see the video recently where I raced a Suron?
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
At the start line, he beat me because he had obviously a bigger tire. But when I was also trying to see how fast I could go, just like stupid, just twist the throttle all the way to the end. But if I did gently off, I could be on par with him off the line. He was on a 60 volt KO motor Suron, which is it's not a stock Suron. It is a modded Suron, but it's not like the modest Suron. But yeah, K6 is, so I think we should talk about K6. I've been on the K4 and the K5. The biggest issue with the K4 and K5 is that the front fork was straight down and it was too far back.
Wait, are they talking about electric scooters? Because I don't hear the electric unicycle. Not interested. But it's almost done, so we can finish.
So essentially what happened was if you if you pulled the front brake really hard, you would front flip. It's like a feature.
I guess.
Over the handlebar feature.
It's like you know when jet pilots just like blast off their air seat. It's like that.
Or even when planes go up and then they stall and come down.
But so they fixed it. They have a new screen. It looks tidier.
Wait. They didn't fix it with the new screen. They have a new geometry. It's like a bigger wheelbase now, and the fork is more angled.
Yeah, no, but the screen is bigger now as well. So it's like you can actually you don't have to look at this fucking
fine jack.
There's a lot of good things that they fixed on it.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about it.
I'm actually curious how much it supports as output AC/DC, because it'd be a really cool way to kind of bring it around and charge other people's things, and like a good road traveling scooter.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I'm not like as exciting as that scooter is. The part that excites me is not the speed or not the motors or whatever. It is just the fact that they're doing 146 volt architecture.
Yeah, same here.
I mean,
it's crazy. Like that's you have to keep in mind that like usual e-scooters, but like the e-mopeds, the new scooters or whatever they call Gogoro, they are usually 60 volt,
60
or
volt,
72 tops. And here to have like pretty much.
I think I'm gonna start doing lives like this also every now and then, but I need to have your comments right in front of me. So I'll have another screen maybe where I could have your comments right in front of me so I can respond, dynamically. Because right now I can't really work and watch your comments,
Twice the voltage, and we've seen the K4, K5 how fast they are. This will be like
video if you want to learn more about.
Check it out.
Check out my video on the K4.
This will be probably super nuts. I mean, we've already seen one video where it just like jumps to 100 kilometers an hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This scooter is so much fun. I really like riding this scooter. I'm not gonna lie. It's exhilarating. I hope that someone buys enough of them where we can have like a go-kart race of K6s.
That'd be kind of cool. You go to the go-kart track?
Yeah, because you're like low to the ground and you can actually turn really tight now, and you're kind of like leaning.
We have the dead EXN here. So because the EXN is no longer online, guess where this pedal is going? Right here. High-speed MSP, baby. Let's do it.
It's like a pocket bike, but more right? So instead of like scrunched over, you're like this, and you're like...
It's like a Harley Davidson pocket bike.
But I think at this point, this thing should need a driver's license. I know.
I mean, the Wolf King GT is also really fast.
Why you gotta be like
I know.
Why you gotta be like the government?
All right, so I'm so not into scooters and all these weird things. I don't know. I'm just not for some reason. Because before EUCs, guys, I used to do snowboarding. I had like several street bikes, like the road bikes that you pedal. Neil Armstrong stuff. Mopeds, but I was never interested in those, and even with the moped, I wasn't really into it. But I did it because I was doing delivery, and it was fun. I would ride really far with it at times. So we're gonna watch Chooch's video. I watched his earlier video on the T4. He really liked it a lot, but now 8 hours ago. So I saw his title recently. It said Begode T4 completely fried, blown motor and motherboard. Holy smokes. So let's watch that.
Like very few people like it.
It was fine, but
like very few people like it.
Alright guys, so you see what happened there. I am so bummed out, dude. I'm just pissed. I had to take an Uber all the way back home from here, and cut my day of riding completely short, dude. Before I say anything about it, I'm literally just gonna let the people in the comment section say.
I just want to say one thing, guys. This is another reason why I don't like purchasing first batch wheels. And that's another reason I'm not so ecstatic about these new wheels, even if it's from Begode. Because in the past, and I'll make this short and we'll watch it, but in the past, these wheels used to be aggressively tested by riders such as myself, Chooch, Marty, New Yorkers, before they even get to the market. Now, there's so many wheels coming out, we can't even keep up anymore. And there's so many distributors that these wheels are just being thrown out there. And it's a good thing that it cut out on him because we expect him to, kind of ride these wheels to the limit. Um, if not to the limit, at least stress them out, because I still am unhappy with how he tested the KS20. In fact, there was a video of him testing the KS20 on a pump track, and when he landed, it almost cut backwards. I tried to find a video just to show that clip, but he wasn't going to push it any further. But my point is, I'm glad this happened. I'm not glad it happened to him. I'm glad it happened. So hopefully this can be addressed, because these new wheels that are coming out, they're not being tested, guys. They're not being tested how they used to be. So I'm not excited at all. I'm excited that the wheels exist, but I'm not so crazy excited to purchase a new wheel at all. At all. Save your money, wait till all the kinks are fixed, and then, purchase another wheel. There's really no need to rush. For the 1% of you out there who might hear my voice, stick with your old wheel until all these kinks are fixed. You'll be happy for it.
Say what this was. I don't care if you say it was user error. I don't care if you say it was the wheel. I don't care if you say you should be riding over logs. Go ahead and just comment what you think went wrong here. Because I can say this, the reason why I confidently went up to that and did that is simply because I've been riding the V12 high torque for so long, and I really feel like the V12 high torque would have had no problem at all getting over that. And like what happened was, the wheel gave out. Like what I tried to do there was bonk off that log. What you call that is a bonk. And what I did is I preloaded, and what I wanted to do is hit the wheel at about, the top middle of the log, and then pop over it. And you can do that on a lot of wheels. You can definitely do that. And it being a 16 or a smaller wheel, a 17-inch wheel, definitely, it's not going to go over a log as easy as like the Master would, or an 18-inch wheel. But still, I don't know, man. I don't know. And like, if I would have gone any other way in the world and not come up to this log, it probably would be still working fine. You got to think about that. If I'd have gone any other way in the entire world, not this way, and somebody put this tree in the way here, like bicycles were coming through here in this little section right here, and somebody out there didn't want bicycles going through there, so they put a tree in the way right here, is what they did. And so I come through here all the time, but this is the first time I've come up to a tree in the way in this run. And so I thought that I could easily, like looking at it, I thought I could easily just kind of bonk over that log, no problem. I really did. I thought like the wheel would easily go over that, no problem. And it hit it, and then what happened is it said e-haul. It said e-haul failure in the app. Whenever I turned on the app and was looking at it, and
E-haul, that's hall sensor.
It was doing all these beeps and whatnot. I tried turning it off completely, and then I turned it back on, and it went completely dead after that. And then now the motor is hard to turn. So it fried the motor and it fried the motherboard. And that's two of the most expensive parts in an electric unicycle. So this is, they send these things out to be tested. And I think this is what people want to know, man. I really do.
Oh,
and
the motor's completely seized.
The typical person's not going to be out there trying to jump over logs and shit like that. But think about it, man. If you would have just hit a jump, just hit any jump out there and kind of landed abruptly in a hard way, or like if you tried to bonk off of like I don't know a curb or anything like that. This could easily happen.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I must have hit the wrong button. Sorry about that, guys. I think I may have hit the wrong button. Sorry about that, guys.
And so, the day that it worked, I gave it, while this thing was working, guys, flawlessly, yes, it's better than the V12. But, dude, it's not, like, I've rode the V12 high torque this hard for 4 months, or for 5 months now. I mean, literally this hard.
Once my lady told me, if you get a flat, why don't you just take the Uber? Or if your battery dies, why don't you just take the Uber? I said, babe, that is sacrilege. You don't do that with an EUC. Imagine you don't get caught in the train with an EUC. You walk home.
And I would have done the same thing on the V12 high torque. I'd have gone, ended up exact same scenario, the exact same way. And that thing is held up for 4 months, 4.5 to 5 months of just abuse. And then I take the Begode out, and I had one great day with it, but otherwise, dude, it's just been problems. You know, I hate to say that, but it has been problems. But anyways, dudes, I had to call it an Uber and take the Uber back home, and the wheel is completely dead. It won't turn on. I literally press the power button on it, I get nothing. Press the free spin button and hold the power button, nothing, and the whole motor's
Yeah, you pulling off right now?
if you have a Begode T4, don't try to jump over curbs or logs or anything that's going to roughly kind of like slam the motor like that. And some wheels can do it, dude. A lot of wheels can handle that, no problem. I think the RS high torque would have easily gotten over that log. The V12 high torque would have easily gotten over that log. And it says, literally, this is a high torque motor. I don't know if I got something that's not a high torque motor or what.
I'll literally be right back.
I really don't feel like that should have given it a Hall sensor failure. But
it seems like it's a Hall sensor.
Anyways, dudes, I'm gonna try to get this thing fixed. Try to reach out to eWheels and see if I can get some parts, or either get them to.
So this was his wheel.
See if they want to fix it or what's up with it.
Or is that?
But anyways, that's where we're at with the Begode T4. Kind of sucks, dude, because I was loving the wheel. I honestly was having a blast on it before this happened. But that's
now in comparison. Let's watch the previous video he had with the T4 before this happened. Chooch Tech and videos right here. Oh, wait, which one? I think, let's watch this one. Because I think that's the one I watched. But again, you don't.
What's up, dudes? Chooch.
You gotta
another
test these wheels.
Hey, I'm out here ripping on the Begode T4.
Otherwise, you're gonna be in
now
for
this
a bad time.
is a mixture of some of the footage of the first day of riding it before I did the firmware update, and a little bit after I did the firmware update. The firmware update on this thing, guys, was a night and day difference on it. What I'm going to be doing is doing a video on how to completely do the update.
Yeah,
really easily, make sure there's no problems at all. I'm going to do a full video on
this wheel.
On just the technical side of it.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you get one of these Begodes out of the box, guys, whenever y'all get them, all this will probably be worked out. This is just, the first wave of, and the
the update that you did to it really, really improved the ride quality of it. It completely worked everything out, and I'm able to take this thing all the way up to top speed now, and it rides smooth. The acceleration is incredible on it, and I'm absolutely loving this wheel now. Seriously though, like.
So typically what I do is whenever I get a wheel, I ride it for at least 200 miles, not 200 kilometers, 200 miles before I can say anything about that wheel, because if you're going to experience a problem with that wheel, chances are you're going to experience it within the first 200 miles. You know what I mean? It's just like when you buy a new car. You don't beat on the car. You drive the car for like 500 miles. I believe they tell you 500 miles. And then, did I lose a part? And then you start, driving it the way you want. So electric, these are mostly mechanical parts for cars. But we're talking about electronic parts here. Remember, that's why I don't really like riding these wheels in water, because it's not like a bike or a car where there's no motor. By the way, this thing does not fit my high-speed MSP. That's unfortunate. This pedal does not seem to fit my high-speed MSP, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me see. I could be wrong. So yeah, these wheels have to be tested. They have to be tested. And we should start demanding that. We should start demanding that these companies send out wheels to be tested before they put them in the wild, because they're getting crazy expensive. And okay, so maybe it does fit. I don't know. Maybe it does. Yeah, I think it does. Okay. So these wheels are getting expensive. People are cutting out on them. People are breaking them. And you can't return them. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, come on, dude. No, man, we're going in the wrong direction. So this is why I have no shame at all enjoying my old wheels, because these old wheels, look how long I've had this high-speed MSP. I've abused, well, I wouldn't say abused, but I've ridden this thing like crazy. I've ridden my torque MSP like crazy, and these wheels have done me well. This is what you get when the wheels are tested by real riders. You know what I'm saying? Not people babying the wheel. This is what you get. You get something that's quality. But if we're gonna keep going down that route with wheels just on a whim being created by Begode, by Sherman, by whoever, by Leaperkin, by InMotion, whoever, and we're not being able to test them, they're not giving us the chance to really put them to the test, and then they're still dishing out these crazy prices, guys. I mean, we're not gonna set up a good foundation for the future. You know what I'm saying? We started off with a really good foundation, as I've always said. We started off with a great foundation, and now we're just in a terrible state right now. We're in a horrible state right now. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy where we are right now, because the headlines ends up being the main thing that people focus on. Oh, I just got my T4. My T4 is dead. What the frick? What happened? You just got it. Well, it's dead. You know, so I'm going to stick to my old wheels until I get a wheel, until I see a wheel. I'm not saying the wheel has to be perfect. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, it has to be tested. That's all. It has to be tested. You can't, like, dude, they just released the they just announced the EX30. The EX30 was just announced. And then all of a sudden, you see it on e-wheels. You see it on Alien Rise. No testing. It's just out there. Nah, man. See, that's the thing. If I was new to EUCs, I would be just like many of you. I would just go out there and purchase a wheel because it looks great. But I'm seasoned. You know, I'm jaded. I know what I'm gonna put these wheels through. I know what I'm gonna do to it. And unless it's done prior, I have no confidence whatsoever. The only wheel that's giving me confidence right now is the Sherman and maybe the Commander Pro. Why? Because these are not new designs. They're old designs and they have suspension implemented. That's it.
The time from whenever I got the V12 out of the box to whenever I was riding it was about, I'd say 5 minutes. From the time where I got this out of the box to when I was riding it was like, I don't know, like 5 hours. Just because of until I was able to ride it good. I went and rode it for a little bit, and I came back and had to do an update and fool with some stuff. But just that. And if I would have had a video explaining to me everything I needed to do to this wheel, it would have taken a few seconds to get it up and rolling and get out the door. So I'm gonna make that video. So
Man,
basically what I'm saying right now is if you watch the video I'm going to make about the update on this thing,
for my
how
high-speed
to
MSP.
do it and how to work around it if there is a problem, then you will be fine. And I think this is an incredible wheel. I think this is an absolutely fantastic machine. But just wanted to be completely transparent with you on that. And this is a 17-inch wheel with a high torque motor in it, and it's a wide and strengthened rim.
Yeah, it's no
so
good.
if you look at the rim on this wheel, it looks
Angle
similar
is
to like
crazy.
the 16X and a lot of
Look
the
at the
other
angle on this.
16-inch wheels out there. It looks like the same
Look at the
rim,
angle.
basically
That's
as a
too
lot
much.
of old unicycles. But it is upgraded. This is a much more sturdy rim, and it is wide.
well.
And it, seriously,
I really hope that.
I looked at it, guys, and
Put that on my high
it almost
speed,
has a
apparently
different
not.
sound to it if you hit it with a wrench compared to the old rim. So it definitely is an upgraded rim, which I'm super excited about, because that's one of the main points, man. It has to be strong with these things, and that's what it is. It's 1,800 watt hours and 100
True.
volts, 2 parallel, 2
At least he
series
has a
backup.
place where he could get an Uber.
So
Good
basically,
point.
if you have one of your batteries go bad or anything like that, it's still gonna stay up. It has like redundancy on it. 1,800 watt hours.
Back to my old pedals.
I'd say so. Like the V12, like 1,740 watt hours. This is 1,800 watt hours.
These are my old pedals.
I'm glad that there is a little bit more power in it,
I don't
and
want
you
'em.
really can't tell.
I don't want
One
to
cool
use
thing
this.
about this wheel is it does have a little bit more power to it than the V12. And after 2 days of riding it, I've only been riding it 2 days, guys. So it's going to take me, even if this is a better wheel, which I'm suspecting it is going to ride
This
better.
is disappointing.
it's
I
going to
really,
perform a little
I'm gonna
bit.
have to contact E-Rides.
Even if it is,
I'm gonna have to contact E-Rides and see if they have one for the MSPs, because this is at a crazy angle and it's not fitting right. Yeah, it's really, it's totally angled. I don't know why. I'm not sure why it's so angled. Yeah, I have to figure that out. Unless I'm doing something wrong. But it's so angled, dude. Huh. I like angle, but not this much. Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna save this for later. I'll keep it here because the main part is done. The tire is changed. What time is it? It's 12. I have to go to bed now. And I really wanted to use this, but it is what it is. I can't. So, let's see. We're gonna close this. Thanks, Mr. Chooch. But guys, it was a pleasure. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching me change my tire on the high-speed MSP. I just figured I'd do it with you guys around and just chat, watch some stuff, and yeah, call it a night. So guys, at the end of the day, save your money, do your research. If you're excited about a wheel and you haven't had a wheel, you're new to this space, get an older wheel. Get a used wheel if you can, but don't spend too much money. These new wheels are coming out. Unless you're gonna, ride them hard, maybe it'll be safe for you. But if you're a hard rider like myself, like Chooch, I recommend just doing a lot of research, because these wheels are coming out a little too fast with not much testing. So, yeah. So I have nothing else to say for now. I'm going to say goodnight, and I might have to put my regular pedals back on. I really don't want to do this, but it is what it is. My Torque MSP has the I believe the Nikola pedals, so I might end up taking the MSP Nikola pedals and putting them on here because there's a lot more real estate. This is much bigger than any of my pedals, and it's just the best pedal of all, but it doesn't seem to fit properly. So I'm gonna have to contact E-Rides tomorrow and talk to him about that. But this is too small, man, too small. So guys, have an awesome night. Thanks for hanging out. Peace. I don't have an outro, sorry. Maybe I'll make his video the outro. Why not? How many minutes do we have? 16. So I'll brush my teeth, do all that stuff. And if it's still playing, I'll cut it out. But until then, have an awesome night, guys.
Better. It's just going to take me a little bit of time, a few days, maybe even a week to really get used to this wheel like I was used to the V12. I'm so used to the V12 now that any wheel would take a little bit of time to get used to, even if that wheel was better, if that makes sense. So, but I can tell you after 2 days, I think once I get more time on this thing, it's going to be incredible. I literally mesh with this wheel so well. I love the form factor of it. It's not too heavy. It rips around fine. And 1800 watt hours, guys, I like that. I really do. 1800 watt hours and 100 volts. I think 100 volt wheels are not obsolete. I saw some people talking about that or whatever, that you need 126 volt, all this garbage. No, dude, we have not even gotten near the fun out of these 100 volt wheels. There's a lot more potential even with 100 volt wheels, and I don't think that people should be steered away because it's not 126 volts or something like that. Absolutely not. I think that 100 volts is plenty, and this thing is fast, man. The torque on it's great. It's fast. I did a Black Diamond mountain bike trail on it last night that I haven't edited yet and I haven't made a video, but I completed the entire Black Diamond mountain bike trail on this. I got about halfway through it in the daylight, and then it got dark, and I just used the headlight on it. The headlight on this wheel is incredible. I was able to navigate a Rocky Mountain Black Diamond mountain bike trail with no other lights. It was sketchy, I'll admit, but I had no other lights. And it worked out good, man. And I like the fact about this wheel for like that type of trail ride I noticed last night, because like if you come up to like a rock feature or something, like on a Black Diamond mountain bike trail, that you have to lift this thing up over to get to the other side of that obstacle. Because there's a few of them that there's unrideable stuff in a Black Diamond mountain bike trail for an electric unicycle. I mean, unless you're God tier on it, you got to walk it over something.
MDX Type S, a new era of premium performance. P-I-N! Never mind, too many letters.
I'm Pinocchio.
Now streaming.
So I like whenever I had to pick it up to walk it over like a rock or like a obstacle or something, I was glad of the form factor, and I was glad I didn't have some outrageously heavy wheel and some clunking thing to tote around. One thing that I did miss, I will say, is having a grab handle on the top for off-roading. And now this is not going to, 99% of people are going to like the new method of the way they've done the top on these, where you can just sit on top of it. Now, I love the seated riding on this. I love how you don't have to put an extra seat on it. I love how you can just sit down on the thing and just go seated riding whenever you want. You don't have to attach an aftermarket seat or anything. It just is easy to sit down and rip. The downfall of that is there's no open grab handle on the top of it. So if you're trail riding and you've gotten really used to, whenever you make a mistake or slip, if you've gotten used to reaching for that top grab handle on the wheel to maybe save your wheel from going over a ledge and keep it from spinning out of control, or just to grab it because it's getting away from you, I think all wheels have to have some type of grab handle on the top for off-road riding specifically, guys. Because if this thing, there was a few times where it would fall over on the side of the trail or something, and I would have to just grab it from the front and back to pick it up and bring it back up upright. Or either I'd have to push down the trolley handle a little bit on top, engage that, pop that up, and then grab it with the trolley handle kind of a little bit extended. But one thing I did miss for trail riding, I will say, is a big grab handle on the top of it. I know it's simple, but for most riders that aren't going to be trail riding and just going to be city riding and stuff, this is what you would want. You would definitely want to have a seat that you can just sit whenever you want and not have something that you have to take around and attach to it. I've been seated riding on this thing a lot just because it's easy to do and the seat's already on the thing, so I actually use it. So it does have a hollow motor, aluminum alloy hollow shaft in it, which is an upgraded feature on this thing, guys. All the new wheels pretty much have this hollow motor design on it, and it essentially is it just handles way more pressure. I know you hear hollow motor, you see that. Some people may be steered away because, oh, what is it talking about? Basically, it's just a larger diameter axle in the middle, which is way stronger and can take a lot more. It can take a hell of a lot more impact than the old axle design. So this one has it, and that's a good thing. Has a 100 millimeters of effective shock absorber stroke on this thing. The suspension, guys, I have it aired up to 270 psi, which is a little bit too much for my weight right now, and I can tell that. The suspension, I have to get it dialed in. It is nowhere near dialed in right now. If I get it dialed in, though, this thing is going to ride incredibly. There's a sweet spot on this thing that I really think you could achieve to where you could ride full speed over rocks and roots and everything, and just the suspension would be doing everything, and your knees wouldn't have to do anything. But it just takes some playing with. It really does. You can adjust how much air is in it from about. Most people are going to be riding at about 250 psi on this thing, and then I would do, I don't know. Your rebound is weird, man. The rebound is very particular to the person and what you're riding and what you're doing. In the woods, you're gonna of course want like a faster rebound for all the various bumps and stuff. For street riding, you're gonna want a slower rebound. But you're just gonna have to play with it and see what's right. Don't try to get it right the first day. Keep on messing with it, keep on tinkering with it, and just get it dialed in. Because with a suspension wheel like this, that's the beauty of it, and that's where the goods are, is getting it dialed in completely. Whenever I got that S22 dialed in completely, guys, it was a dream come true riding that wheel. I have not ridden a suspension wheel since the S22, and whenever I had sent that back to Yuko, I had the suspension on it set up perfectly for me. Like, it was literally like, I love that wheel, dude. I seriously love the way the suspension worked on it. And I think this one, once I get it set up like that, I'll love it just as much. But you just have to get it right. You just can't set it and forget it the first day and just go with it. You have to keep playing with it. Now, this is they strengthened the dampening lever to adapt to like a high strength off-road leap. You saw people doing big drops, guys. And so they've actually made like all the components on the suspension even stronger. So for the guys that were jumping off like, I don't know, like 10-foot drops or so, just straight to flat ground, they've made the suspension arm in the back even thicker, so it can handle that type of force. It's basically like an aluminum structure on the inside of it. Under where the batteries are on this wheel, it's a full aluminum structure on this thing, which I'm really liking. If you look at like the M10-4, that thing is literally like full aluminum construction, that little miniature wheel. I think that thing is going to be awesome as well. But Begode's really upgrading, guys. They're really upgrading with these wheels. One thing you are going to notice, though, upon buying this wheel, is that the pedals on it aren't the greatest. The stock pedals it comes with, you're going to have to upgrade those. And I mean, you can keep them on there or whatever, but they make so many good aftermarket pedals, and it's such an easy swap to put them on there. And it adds a lot to it, man. It really makes the thing look so much more high quality when you add some really nice pedals to it. And it's so easy to do. The first upgrade I did was put on new pedals on it, and I love it. These spike pedals absolutely are incredible. These are the Ironman spike pedals from E-Rides. Acceleration and jump pads on it, guys. I really that's one thing that I think has got to be refined by Gotway, and I'm just gonna say it, dude, because without me saying it, nothing's gonna get changed and nothing's gonna get better on this stuff. Y'all got to do a different system with these damn power pads on this thing. Begode. These are pretty good, but when you're buying such a high quality machine and then you get some 3M pads to stick on the side of this thing in the box, it's just like, it's kind of a slap in the face to the person that just paid that much money for the damn thing. Honestly, uh, I like the power pads; they're okay, but they don't suit a $3,000 machine, if that makes sense. Like it, I think the only thing on here that just is not stand out higher quality than everything else that we've seen from Begode in the past is the power pads it comes stock with. On the back right here, I have just the Grizzly pads, the breaking Grizzly pads, and I went and put those on there just because I thought, hey, this is perfect for it. And then I also saw that like the Wrong Way had done the same thing that I did with putting these Grizzly pads on the back there. So it works, dude. The Grizzly pads on the back right there really work for braking. I love just that added, you know, brake power you can get from digging your shins into those things back there. But I do want a full fairing system for this Begode T4. And by a full fairing system, what I mean is there's some people out there that are making a fairing that goes around the entire thing, and you can put on whatever power pad you want, and it's a way better front bumper, and the sides are smooth metal sides with Velcro on them, and then you can put on whatever aftermarket power pads you want. And I really think that once you get the fairing system on the thing, and you can put whatever old school power pad you want, I think that's the deal sealer. I think you really need that though. But again, Begode, I don't think people should have to go and buy that aftermarket because they don't like the current setup. I think y'all should look at what people are doing and say, hey, people are buying this fairing system. It'll take us, a little bit of extra time to make it, but this is what people want, so let's make it. And I don't know. I think that it should just come with I think all wheels now should just come like with a solid metal side covered with Velcro, so you can put on whatever power pad you want. Because once you get used to a set of power pads or adapted to them, you kind of want to keep them. And like with the V12, I ran all kind of different power pads on that thing until I got exactly what I liked. And I don't know. I think that having power pads that come stock that are just universal is not the right thing to do. I think there's having an open metal pad on the side, and then maybe you can ship like a pair of power pads from Gotway that you can stick on there with Velcro, but also it's already set up to where you can put on whatever aftermarket ones you want. So that would be the best way to do it, I think. But anyways, dudes, I kind of went over into some old footage on this thing, but hopefully the insights help on this, guys. I'm about to go ride some more, get some more filming done on this thing. I've gotten way better on it just in 2 days of riding it. So the footage you're seeing now is me like a total noob on this thing. I was shredding it last night after the firmware update and after getting used to it. But anyways, dudes, new videos are going to be coming on this thing. It's awesome. I really like the wheel. The T4 shreds, the beginning phase of unboxing it and